T5S2 stands for the Tactical Tortoise Tabletop Simulator Tournament Series. It is a global competitive 40K circuit that ranks players based on their results in online games, including events run by Tactical Tortoise and many other communities. At the end of each biannual season, the top 16 players in the series are given the opportunity to play for the title of Season Champion and become the greatest virtual 40K player in the world in this very event, the Seasonal Invitational Tournament. With over 400 players and dozens of tournaments competing on the ladder in Season 1, T5S2 is now one of the largest and most competitive series in online Warhammer and shows no signs of slowing down. So what are you waiting for? Visit tts40k.com to view live standings, join the community Discord server, and get information on upcoming events and tournaments. There is glory to be won on this virtual battlefield, Commander. Do you have what it takes to compete? Want to get involved in T5S2 or events run by Tactical Tortoise? Visit the Tactical Tortoise Discord server at the link in the video description. There you can find signups for all manner of tournaments and casual games, including the T5S2 Youngbloods series of free, new player-friendly events designed to introduce you to 9th edition and give you a chance to experiment with new lists. For those looking for more competitive action, rapid-fire tournament pods are currently available that award prize support and standings points and help you hone your skills to a knife's edge. And remember to stay tuned for even more exciting events as Season 2 progresses, including team events, online GTs, and free weekly tournament pods launching shortly after the conclusion of this invitational on August 16th. Welcome to the community, and I'll see you on the battlefield. T5S2 stands for the Tactical Tortoise Tabletop Simulator Tournament Series. It is a global competitive 40K circuit that ranks players based on their results in online games, including events run by Tactical Tortoise and many other communities. At the end of each biannual season, the top 16 players in the series are given the opportunity to play for the title of Season Champion and become the greatest virtual 40K player in the world in this very event, the Seasonal Invitational Tournament. With over 400 players and dozens of tournaments competing on the ladder in Season 1, T5S2 is now one of the largest and most competitive series in online Warhammer and shows no signs of slowing down. So what are you waiting for? Visit tts40k.com to view live standings, join the community Discord server, and get information on upcoming events and tournaments. There is glory to be won on this virtual battlefield, Commander. Do you have what it takes to compete? Want to get involved in T5S2 or events run by Tactical Tortoise? Visit the Tactical Tortoise Discord server at the link in the video description. There you can find signups for all manner of tournaments and casual games, including the T5S2 Youngbloods series of free, new player-friendly events designed to introduce you to 9th edition and give you a chance to experiment with new lists. For those looking for more competitive action, rapid-fire tournament pods are currently available that award prize support and standings points, and help you hone your skills to a knife's edge. And remember to stay tuned for even more exciting events as Season 2 progresses, including team events, online GTs, and free weekly tournament pods launching shortly after the conclusion of this invitational on August 16th. Welcome to the community, and I'll see you on the battlefield. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream. We got another game coming at you from the T5S2 Invitational Group Stages. This is gonna be CBRN84, also known as Cullen Burns, playing Craftworlds over here in the red, versus, in the blue, Darkwind, aka Nick Rose. big time ITC player, top 10 in 2019, and going for the win in T5S2, playing Salamanders, and the blue side deploying obnoxiously on the red side of the table. But I am here commentating this game with the one and only, the Shuma. How's it going, Shuma?
Hey, yeah, it's going pretty good. Excited to see how this goes.
I know, are you excited to watch a bunch of tiny vehicles shoot a billion bullets at each other?
Yeah, it's just 100 tiny jets.
Yeah, this game's going to be insane. We have two pretty mechanized gun lines, both extremely fast, both extremely killy, and they are about to punch each other in the face.
Over in North Village. You have this nice orc map here too, which I'll note has a radar dish, so we can tell what's happening.
Yeah, that's how we're getting the signal here. Directly from whatever this is, the Wastelands of Armageddon, where the speed called to set up a racetrack, and both of these extremely fast mechanized lists are about to race to the finish line.
Yeah, much like in regular 9th edition, they beat the orcs already, and now they're just seeing who's faster.
Yeah. Absolutely. So we're gonna be going over the lists real quick here. Do you want to start?
I believe I could. So over here,
Cullen's Craftworlds.
Oh yeah. So you might have heard of a little thing in 8th edition called Mech Eldar. It was an obscure list choice. You know, very few people played it. Wasn't well known. You know, not a lot of people have seen these models before. But what Cullen's done here is he's taken it. He's put it into a blender. He's really squeezed it down to the point where you can filter out all the pulp. The pulp being everything that wasn't a Hornet
Mech
or
Eldar
Falcon.
Concentrate.
Yeah. Until it's just this sludge of perfection right here. So this list consists of one heavy support detachment, one patrol detachment.
Some people would say this was efficient, made efficient, or maybe optimized. No, here it's a sludge.
You'll note one troop unit back here. These rangers hiding by these falcons, and to support these 5 brave lads, you have. What is this? Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Hornets, the world's most adorable and honestly just really cool looking mini tank. Each one sporting 2 Hornet pulse lasers, which are kind of like star cannons, but are pulse lasers, even though they are star cannons. Backing them up, we've got 3 Falcons. Falcons, unlike their more dedicated tank-based shooting brethren in the the giant warp spider that flies in as a tank, and the ring pop that shoots a laser. These didn't get really slapped in price. These did not go up that much. And they were already quite efficient before, carrying a pulse laser each, high movement, no more negative hit penalties anywhere in this list, which was one of the biggest banes of the list previously. Supporting them, you have 3 Warwalkers pulled straight out of 2nd edition. I love these guys. Each of them also carrying 2 star cannons, very heavy anti-Primaris firepower. And then, just for a little bit of night killing in case one of them accidentally wanders into this tournament, we got, what is this? 9 Vibro Cannon support platforms. Gross in 8th edition, still gross now, not quite as powerful as they were previously, as you can no longer stack beyond +1 to wound, but they still maintain their stacking AP buffs, and they can now move and fire without penalty, which previously was not a thing you wanted to do with them, but oftentimes was something you did have to do with them because they are not very fast, and they take up a lot of floor space. They tend to get stuck behind things. And honestly, I mean, beyond that, you've got, 2 Farseers, you've got Doom, Jinx, a little bit of Psychic Hate with some Mortal Wound spam coming out of both of them, but for the most part, support pieces. And really, you're just seeing an army that wants to hide its entire army behind this one ruin, and then when its turn comes around, is suddenly in front of this ruin, laying waste to all of these beautiful little green jet fighters.
R.I.P. Poor Salamanders.
If I was going to say if there are any weaknesses, I mean, the strengths are obvious. The list is incredibly fast. It hits incredibly hard. Almost every gun on every model can kill a Primaris Marine in one shot. Great range. Great ability to just move out and displace things off of objectives. They don't OBSEC really at all. There's very. I mean, these 5 Rangers have it, but I kind of suspect that they're probably not long for this world.
OPSEC doesn't matter if you're dead, though.
Yeah. You get a corpse doesn't have OPSEC, right. So a tank killing something can take that thing from it.
Yeah. Yeah, so typically the game plan is to kill absolutely anything that could potentially ever take an objective. And
kill absolutely everything, period.
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Maybe you score 5 points a turn in the first 1 to 2 rounds on primaries, and then round 3 you've usually killed enough of your opponent's army that you can jet out. Almost everything in the list moves 16 inches outside of those vibro cannons, and you can just absolutely dominate on the primary in the late game.
Those Hornets can move, what, 24 on an advance? Automatically?
Yeah. It is madness. Pure, unadulterated madness.
But why don't you tell us what's going on over here with some Salamanders?
Yeah, so we got our little green Space Marines, mean green Space Marines over here. This is a Salamanders battalion getting run by Nick. He's bringing an Inquisitor, as well as a captain on a bike, trying to build into basically the old 8th edition trope of the unkillable Space Marine captain. He's got a Storm Shield, he's got Forge Master for +2 toughness, putting him up to delicious toughness of 7, as well as the Salamander Mantle to make him -1 to be wounded. That does, interestingly, we were talking to the players about this before the game starts, but that does mean that the Vibro Cannon stacking +1 to wound multiple times actually may matter in this game, because they will ignore the Salamander Mantle -1 with their first point of +1 to wound, and then the second point of +1 will actually get them to a net +1.
T7's also a great value against almost every gun in this list.
Yeah,
there's so much strength 6 over here.
Yep. We're bringing a Primaris Chaplain as well, coming in with, I believe that he is taking Recitation of Focus and Catechism of Fire, as well as Master of Sanctity and Wise Orator, so he's going to be able to do both of those and re-roll his Litany test, which is pretty good. Basically the only way you can re-roll Litanies now. So very important to take that Wise Orator Warlord trait whenever you can. We also have Primaris Lieutenant, one of the new Indomitus Primaris Lieutenants. And then a whole smorgasbord, a whole variety of different types of intercessors. We have a standard intercessor squad with auto bolt rifles, an assault intercessor squad, as well as an infiltrator squad, and then 2 tactical squads, which is a bit of an awkward choice. I think not a lot of people expecting tactical squads, but if you want to save 25 points and just take a unit that can sit in the back, stand on an objective for a while, and to plant some banners, I think this is a pretty good option for a budget troops choice. We also have a whole boatload of elites, 2 servitor units to unlock 2 relic slots to bring in 2 javelin attack speeders, which are absolutely brutal. They are -1 to be hit from more than 8 inches away, and they're bringing alongside them a twin las cannon and a heavy bolter. Most of the list wants to really follow into the Salamanders Master Artisans trait. So we're bringing sort of an MSU style with a bunch of individual small land speeders to make full use of those rerolls. So those Javelin attack speeders roll right into that pretty well.
Oh, it completely passed me, too. Actually, Expert Crafters over here with the Eldar, same deal.
Yeah, Expert Crafters, Masterful Shots, right?
Yeah. Very much these are kind of a little bit of a mirror match in the faction traits.
Yeah,
between these 2 forces.
Yeah, basically. Excuse me. It's a Masters of Concealment on the Eldar side this time. So they're not ignoring cover. I think now that cover doesn't usually affect vehicles, Cullen decided to drop that in favor of giving his own vehicles cover. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We aren't seeing as many Imperial Fists quite as often now, coming out of Space Marine lists in 9th edition. So it makes sense to try to play into the lack of cover ignoring that is sort of entered the meta. But obviously, Salamanders also have the ability to ignore 1 point of AP, but I don't think that's going to matter so much this game. It will hopefully help them against some Vibro Cannons a little bit, but most of the guns on these Eldar vehicles are either AP 0 or AP like 10 million. As Eldar want to do, they care not for your armor. They will just shoot the crap out of you. We also have a 5 model aggressor squad in this detachment as well. Looks like they may be outflanking. Is that correct?
Well, they probably don't want to be on the board at the start.
Yeah, it looks like we have strategic reserves called for an Eradicator squad as well as one Aggressor squad. Makes a ton of sense. You can bring those guys in and then immediately use the stratagem on the Aggressors to count them as stationary. The Salamander stratagem, and just double shoot, their guns. And they'll, only being strength 4, but they'll get to that -1 AP. They'll get within 12 inches to ignore that Masters of Concealment. And they'll put some hurt onto some Eldar vehicles.
They'll kill an entire support platform. They'll kill a Hornet with ease.
For sure.
I mean, the Hornets are not the sturdiest of platforms.
Especially once Crucible Battle gets taken into account as well.
Yeah.
I'm
honestly surprised more was not put into reserve here. It feels like the Beta Strike in this matchup is going to be very harsh.
Yeah, for sure. So we do have those Relic attack speeders. We also have in the fast attack slot, we have 4 Land Speeder Tempests, 2 units of 2. Kind of a sleeper hit, I think, that got a big buff in 9th edition. They didn't go up too much in points. Now, of course, they ignore the moving and shoot penalty, and they have their own little tiny missile launcher, which is, I believe, a 2d3 blast weapon, which fires is basically able to kill whatever. It's you can max shots against sort of mid-size units with it pretty easily. It's shooting AP3 2 damage shots, so they kill the Primaris Marine stat line instantaneously. And it also has an assault cannon. Why not? They just shoot a billion times. Again, another excellent pick for Crucible of Battle, because it's each one of those guys is potentially firing 12 times.
Hornet's already been removed.
Ooh.
I mean, that was going to happen there.
Yeah, for sure. The
T6-8 wounds.
Going first in here is going to deal a ton of damage. With these, especially with this Eldari army, one of the downsides of it is that it's so big. Like, it just physically takes up a lot of real estate. So it's going to be hard to hide all of it behind this terrain. It looks like Nick's going to be able to draw lines of sight to a couple of these Hornets.
I mean, I'm also a little bit surprised that, I suppose Cullen is not at a high number of command points to begin with, but it could have outflanked these Falcons pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to, though, because he does, obviously, he
really want that
loses
immediate
that. That punch. Like, he'll lose a Hornet or 2 on turn 1, and he'll just eat that. But if it lets him fight back with the Falcons instantaneously, I think
makes sense.
For the rest of the Space Marine list, we also have 2 Eradicator squads. Not that surprising. Obviously, Eradicators and Salamanders are insane. They get a billion.
Surprising part here is there's about 3.
They get a whole boatload of Master Artisan rerolls, and they get +1 to wound in the Tactical Doctrine. Just an insane amount of damage from these guys. And honestly, it's almost a lot of the Space Marine lists that we're seeing in the Invitational are using these guys in different ways. We have Paul Yunsen Clark's list bringing Eradicators with White Scars to allow them to advance and fire without penalty, which gives them a little bit of extra threat range. Obviously, we have 2 Salamanders lists. Interestingly, all in the pod. This is Group 1, and every single Space Marine outside of some Space Wolves and some Grey Knights, which I guess are they're Adeptus Astartes. I guess they're not technically Space Marines. But every single Space Marine player got put into the same group. So we're going to see a couple Space Marine on Space Marine mirror matches here coming in the later games of this group. But right now we're gonna rip this Eldar Band-Aid off almost as quickly as Nick is ripping Eldar vehicles off the table with 2 Hornets down already. But not too surprising from the immense damage output from this sort of high-volume, mid-level shooting that these guys are putting out. We also have a Land Speeder Storm in this list. A bit of an interesting pick. There's no scouts in the list. It is a dedicated transport, though, so it can be unlocked by just infantry in the list. And it can carry the Inquisitor around, interestingly, because he ignores keywords when going into transports.
Keep him safe from snipers. It can move his can move his aura around for canceling psychic powers. And I mean, we looked up the points a second ago because we were kind of wondering. It's 55 points.
55 points for Heavy Bolter.
It's a 55-point. Like, you could buy a Terminator, or you could just get this thing.
Yeah, you could get a whole Land Speeder. And then, obviously, it's a fast model. It can run around and grab objectives.
It's like the Ford Focus of the Salamanders. You just buy it with whatever you got in your pocket.
It doesn't seem bad. Seems like a nice include for sure. I think that is the one change. Dan Paolini, the number 1 seed in the Invitational, is also playing a very similar list to this. I think he and Nick both sort of dojoed at the same time and conversed with each other about the lists. And they're, I think, 20 points different or something like that. And the difference, I think, is that Land Speeder. I think that Dan has dropped something else, and he's fit in a standard Land Speeder with a multi-melta over that Land Speeder Storm. And I think that's literally the only difference between the two lists. And they're both in the same pod. So we're going to get to see that obnoxious Salamander mirror match at some point.
Yeah, which of these two decisions was the right one? We'll find out.
Yeah, for sure. So Nick obviously taking the first turn here. He did win the roll off to go first and has elected to take it. Not only does it give him a lot of table space, but obviously, like we said, Cullen can't possibly hide this entire Eldar army, especially from a gun line that's as fast as these land speeders. And so he's going to just be...
he's doing his best, though.
Yeah, for sure. So that gives Nick, obviously, the opportunity to hit first, which is going to be brutal. These players I've noticed have not switched their clock at all.
Well, somehow I don't think there's going to be a turn 4 in this game anyway. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. It may just mutually annihilate, for sure. Yeah. But obviously that first player advantage, just being insane here, Nick able to take out a couple Hornets as well as these 3 Hornets, it looks like, down, and force these Eldar to deploy a little bit farther back. Not that that's a big issue for them because they are so fast.
I don't think I really have any other shooting. The Eradicators can't shoot.
We'll cover their secondaries quickly. Over on Nick's side of the table, he's, unsurprisingly, both of these players have taken Bring It Down. Big shocker. Big shocker from that one. We also have Engage on All Fronts for both of them, and it looks like Nick is lined up to score 2 from that, I think, this turn. With those units on Objective 2. He's also taken Raise the Banners high and is able to put 4 banners down this turn by moving his Infiltrators up onto Objective 2 up in the top right there. And that's impressive already, and I don't think they're OBSEC, so there's no real risk of him losing that objective before he gets to score that banner, so that's sort of insane. And obviously, Cullen taking Engage on All Fronts as well, which is a little bit problematic going second. It's going to be a lot harder for him to score that. But again, his army is super fast, so he may still be able to do it. Also bringing in a Psychic Ritual, which is a little awkward, to be honest.
You're not going to score much off of that.
Yeah, it might be tough for him. Although, again, his plan is to kill a whole bunch of stuff, and we're about to see that here. We're going to see exactly how much stuff he can blow up this turn, which I think is going to be a lot. And
how many of these land spinners are going to be left?
I imagine we see like 3 die, maybe 4. Maybe he gets both Tempest Squads.
That's a low guess.
Yeah, the javelins are hard to kill. They're 9 wounds. They're -1 to be hit. So I think it's fairly likely that Cullen targets the easier targets first and just tries to take out those little missile launchers, because those things are going to absolutely tear up this sort of mid-range Eldar armor. There's a lot of T6 on this side of the table that those Tempest missile launchers are absolutely going to vaporize. That said, Nick's about to jump in with a unit of Eradicators and a unit of Aggressors, and could potentially just cripple a lot of these remaining Eldari vehicles.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if one of these units just like pops over and just takes out this Eradicator squad sitting right here just instantly. Yeah. I am surprised that Eradicator squad was not outflanked for this very reason. It seems like it's an easy target, it's an immediate target, and it wasn't something that was going to get to shoot on the first turn.
For sure. So I think, what do you think of these secondary picks, Shuma? I think, honestly, I like them all. I'm not sure about Psychic Ritual. I think that one might be a little awkward. But if Cullen's able to swing the attrition in his favor, he may have enough beef to push forward and grab that in the later game.
Yeah, I think that's a real... That's kind of like seeing ground control out of this army in 8th. Like, you're really just assuming you're going to table the opponent on that one. And... like, I have not seen this matchup happen before. I don't know. I cannot honestly say if that's a safe pick or an unwise one.
Yeah, I think, too, it's interesting to just see how this plays out. It's like sort of 2 of the most Alpha Strike heavy armies in the game, or at least close to it. And like, they're both just going to sock each other. I would be interested to see how it would play out with Nick going second. I do think his list plays much better going second than Cullen's does. Obviously, Cullen's list, like we talked about so many times, it's just so big, and he can't hide it all, which is a big benefit to going second in using the invitational rules that we have. Whereas Nick's army is much more condensed and also uses its mobility to be able to sort of shuffle between terrain, which I think is a really big benefit to having all these land speeders.
There's a downside to having so much of it be foot-based, though. I mean, the while you can hide all of it, the actual like hammer blow is much smaller coming out of the Salamanders than it will be coming out of these Eldar.
Yep.
Like they both play well going second. Easily hiding, easily popping out, and having their full firepower, but like the ceiling is much higher in one versus the other. So like while the Salamanders, I mean, and it makes sense, the Salamanders will be safer, but will have less damage output, and that's just going to be kind of at play here. Like I honestly expect all of these land speeders to be dead by the end of this round.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And it does look like Cullen is using that mobility to get aggressive. He's getting within 8 inches of those javelins to ignore that -1 to hit, which is good. And honestly, like that, these vibro cannons are going to be brutal against these land speeders.
And each can see a unit. I got to imagine you kill one, maybe 2 land speeders per vibro cannon squad shooting.
Yeah, it is interesting to see the difference between 8th edition vibro cannons and 9th edition, because vibro cannons were still good in 8th edition, but the big downside is that as soon as you, like, they couldn't just deploy out in the open. A lot of times you would just pick them all up, especially if you were a big powerful gun line.
Can't move with those.
Right, and as soon as you moved them, they were -1 to hit, and they would just flub. It was just like, it was like playing Go Fish. You know, you were just fishing for 4 pluses.
It was comical.
It sucked, and the number of times I saw a vibro cannon like roll 3 shots, like miss them all, and then like maybe get 1 with an artisans, and then fail to wound, and you're like, cool, like 50-point model or whatever. But now that they ignore that -1 to hit, these vibro cannons are just hyper efficient. They do so much damage.
Yeah, they go from having an effective 0-inch movement to 6.
Yeah.
Sometimes higher, based on various other buffs.
And we are seeing that come into play here now that they all deployed in a nice little line to get out of line of sight turn 1, and they've death blossomed out here to get a whole bunch of lines of fire down the table.
I gotta say, if any of these land speeders are left, this Farseer is not in a great position. I don't know if any of these land speeders will be left over.
Yeah, but maybe one of them just zips over and blows that guy up. Yeah, that would be nice.
He has a land speeder shaped hole perfectly to his left.
Yeah, maybe you want to get those rangers up there to
just advance this guy. You know.
Yeah. So that said, even if Nick loses a lot of his land speeders, he is in a decent position with his follow up. Like we mentioned, he has a ton of stuff in reserve that's hyper dangerous to this level of armor. And like he has this assault intercessor squad that's going to be in charge range of these hornets next turn. They can put out pretty serious damage with Crucible of Battle and melee, and then all the rerolls obviously that they're going to get. And also they're obsec, so they're just going to start taking objectives away from Cullen, forcing Cullen down to 5 primary points a turn. Nick's probably going to grab 15 for the first 2 rounds at least, and then be able to coast to a clean 45 from there. So I don't hate this game plan from Nick. Just all-out aggression, pushing up the table, making the best use of that first player advantage that he can.
Yeah, the loss of being able to leave combat and fire is definitely going to come into play here too. I mean, like, a land speeder storm may not do a lot of damage, but when it bases a support weapon platform squad or 2, which could happen in this following turn, I mean...
Now, do you think Cullen's going to try to do the same thing? Because obviously those Tempests cannot shoot their missile launchers in melee. Well, that one can't shoot it ever because it's dead. But you can just start charging in with these hornets and touching those guys.
The difference there, though, is, I mean, you assault this Falcon back here, and then you have 3 Eldar support platforms that's just going to assault you to try and get you off, right? Whereas you assault one of these land speeder Tempests and...
Well, I don't think these support weapon platforms are excited about charging people.
I know, that's what I mean. But whereas on the other side, you assault Planetary Tempest, and a captain on a bike just demolishes you.
But that captain on the bike's going to get there anyway, right? He's moving 14 inches, and he's charging pretty high, so like he's going to get.
No, you got that guy. You got some tactical Marines. You got
that captain on a bike right now probably threatens beyond, like, past this L ruin in the center.
Yeah, he probably wants to, jink past this Falcon and just dive right into the support weapon platforms here, and then maybe tap the Falcon with a consolidation.
Yeah.
It's too bad that man's not riding the White Scar's Ghost Rider bike.
Oh boy!
Hit this Farseer right in his dome. Then
then
consolidate into a Warwalker unit and support weapon platform unit.
Yeah, just because the Augur Haze, so.
Amount of shots, 1, 4.
Nick, did you score 2 or 3 on engage on turn 1?
3.
Who do you have in this quarter over here?
The javelins here?
Is it within 6 of the center?
No.
Shit. Gotta keep an eye on you. So I have a hit. T6 question mark? Yes.
What deployment zone is that?
I mean, I
you,
had
have to
extra
be, you, gotta be
movement.
you have to be wholly within the zone.
Well, I had extra movement if you need to do that. So that's 6 inches right there. It looks like it's. Oh, am I wrong?
You have to be wholly within the whole zone too.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, I could have just. Oh, all right, that's fair enough.
But I did cause a wound on him at egg 1.
Okay. So 3-up save because
All right.
Two
take 1.
damage.
We are fixing all the mistakes here. From
Back on track.
So, yeah. We're getting back in there.
How many shots? 2.
You got to watch that that behind enemy lines, everyone.
Artisan.
Or that engage on all fronts.
1 hit.
I did just talk about that. I just released a video. It's available for patrons right now, and it will be available for the public later on this week, talking about secondary objectives. And we did talk about engage on all fronts for quite a bit,
Above it.
because it is an important one, I think, especially if you are an aggressive list to try to get, but you do have to make sure that that wholly within doesn't screw you.
Hit. Artisan.
Yeah, it's not easy to do, especially when compared to ITC 2020.
Still AP.
Yeah.
2 hits. Excuse me. 2 hits.
Good, okay.
Chat here at Valdor. I'd normally be rooting for Salamanders, but I think the whole thing with the javelins has me annoyed.
Nice.
Yeah, you know, for every javelin there is over here, though, you have 2 hornets.
Might hurt
No,
their
you-
arm now. They
You
got to
have,
throw
you
those
have
javelins.
4 hornets actually for each javelin.
DS4502 normally would be rooting against Craftworlds, but it's Marines. Fair enough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many people in chat feel the same way?
Pulse.
Who are people rooting for? I don't know if I have a favorite right now in this list, in this game, honestly. Like, both of these lists are so lethal and so cool, to be honest. I mean, well, the Eldar list is okay, but but I mean, how 6 months ago, who would have thought that one of the most powerful lists in the game would be like 10 land speeders?
And 6 months ago, wasn't one of the most powerful lists in the game like 10 land speeders?
No, it was just 3. It was 3 land speeders.
Okay.
All right, calm right down.
Are not at egg 1 though, right?
There were only 3 typhoons in that list.
4s. Artisan.
Longship
You
Loft,
use
calling it for
our-
Eldar.
You're doomed.
Oh, gotcha. That's right.
I gotta say,
That
so
is a
if
fair request.
both these players lose hard
Oh,
enough,
one
can
hit.
chat get its wish, and then suddenly I can just suddenly, sneak in, like, I hit somebody with a steel chair, and then suddenly I'm in the competition? You know? It's like WrestleMania rules.
Yeah.
Just need 5 points. I just need someone in this competition to get hit by a car, okay?
Yeah, it's been exciting so far. We just finished up the 3rd game out of Group 2, and all of the players in the group are 1-1. Every single one. Matt Green hasn't played any of his games playing Grey Knights, and he was mentioning, he was bemoaning in the tournament chat earlier today. He says, like, man, I wish somebody had been knocked out so I could get like sort of a more laid back game against them. But now everyone's going to be like super try hard because everyone's fighting for their life against him.
Nope.
It's going to be brutal. Group 2 has been super exciting so far. For those who missed, we played we watched a super cool game on Monday between Key and Ton playing Adeptus Sororitas versus Deneth playing 60 Chaos Possessed. And Deneth was back on the stream earlier this afternoon playing against an Adeptus Mechanicus gunline that came down to like literally like one model dying. If Deneth like had moved slightly differently on the round before, I think the game would have been much different. But that was a super cool game. It's definitely a weird one to watch, but I highly recommend people go back and check out the VOD for that one.
AP1 weapons.
Next round.
1 for through. Golly, the one I can save.
That seems very divided here. Fear the Cute, Eldar side, Marine's starting to sour for her.
Saving target.
Whereas Longship Loft thinks Salamander's going to win, but hopes Eldar win. So I feel like right here, you don't have a, this isn't like a chocolate and peanut butter combination where like, yeah, you like both sides. This is more of like Russian dressing and
Last one.
like a Toblerone. No one. It's a weird combination, and no one wants either one of these things to win.
Artisan.
Yeah, I think it's gonna. Honestly, it's an interesting game, right? Because the first 2 to 3 rounds of this game are just going to be these
Alright, come on,
players
give me a
just
six.
socking each other as hard as they
yeah.
can. And the really interesting plays are going to happen round 4 and 5.
Yeah.
We'll see how Nick ends up bringing in his reserves. That's going to be a big thing, a big indicator.
They're just one wound or
Yeah, they're just one.
Oh, both Relic's javelins dead. Oh no.
Interesting targeting choices here.
All the
Although I suppose this left flank is not fired yet, has it?
I don't believe so. Yeah, on objective 3.
Yeah, I got it. I do not think any of these land speeders will be left. There's
Yeah.
so much. The stat lines coming out of these tanks are so perfectly suited for killing these land speeders.
Yeah, I may have grossly underestimated the number of dead land speeders at the end of this turn. I said 4, and there's already 4 dead, and there's still like half of an army to shoot.
And Star Cannon at least.
Oh, we're starting to shoot intercessors now
see
too.
that?
Uh oh.
From my Falcon.
Interesting choice there. I'm pretty surprised.
I don't know if you
Not
can
entirely
behind
surprised,
the
but mostly because it wouldn't matter right now. I mean,
Come over to where I am.
you're looking for objectives 2
yeah,
regardless,
I can
but
shoot
the servitors
down.
here
I can
towing
shoot
into
down
objective
down
6
there.
are
And it works.
quite visible, just given their placement. They could
Not make one, correct?
be invisible, but currently are very much not.
None of these guys are negative.
And
These guys are.
Could be a way to
it's
stop
very,
an end of
it's,
score, or an end of
intentionally, it's very difficult to hide your units and be on these objectives. Obviously, you can sort of lip back around behind the barrels and tow into the objective, but from from the opposite flank, you're going to be seen pretty easily.
Yeah. There's
And,
a definite there's range issues here at play though. This elder list kind of stops at range 36,
2 hits.
and hard to eyeball from the
2
spectator's perspective, but it feels to me like the back of objective 6 is
Sixes.
far enough away from the realm of objective 1 to where they could get out, but they're not being fired at regardless. There's,
Yeah, it looks like they're only about 34 inches away from the Warwalkers right now, so it would be tough. The Warwalkers, assuming that the
yeah,
Eldar
one more
can
turn
move-
of this stop stepping forward. Certainly,
Right,
yeah.
they're going to be able to reach the back of the...
small
Yeah,
arms.
so obviously there is a big benefit to going first in all these missions. The downside, at least in the T5S2 maps, is that your
Fives.
the terrain on your side of the
you are
table
duped.
sucks. You got to push up to the
One
center
wound,
and grab
a
some of
dash,
these large
sir.
obstructing
These
pieces
dice could not get
that are closer to the middle to hide behind. But if you just stay in your deployment zone, you're going to get ripped
Nice.
apart.
Alright, so
Although I gotta say, Necros is kind of using that theoretically superior objective
Because
placement to his advantage.
what else are you thinking these guys
Lacking
do that? They
OBSEC
can do
means
that.
that you can just walk onto the,
they're
more
behind
middle-siding
that. Can't shoot
portions of objectives 2 and 3, and if
Right.
know, if all that the opponent has is high volume output tanks, they gotta kill you.
Right.
They have to kill everything you have.
Yeah, they
Kill
would
everything
much
you
rather
are.
be shooting at
think this one-
eradicators, but
Yeah.
man, do they not have the volume to hit everything they need to.
Well, they might.
Well, yeah, we'll see. Not done shooting yet.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, 'cause I thought it was base to base though.
And then I have one.
I like this land speeder temp just hanging out with 1 wound right here.
Yeah, just chilling. Just
So-
just trolling.
Is this guy
It's, just
shot?
gonna, it's gonna get hit by like a
I
shuriken
have-
catapult or something
I
at
have
some
these
point. Just
viral
follow.
cannons over here. I have those hornets.
One of the biggest weaknesses of a list like
Did you
this
send a
that we are
CP?
seeing out of
You sent a
Cullen
CP
is
already, right?
explosions.
Yes, damage,
Let
correct.
me see if I
I haven't
get
seen any so far,
Yeah.
but going
Yeah.
from a 1 in
Alright,
36 chance to an explosion to
I'm
just
not
a
gonna
flat
do
1 in 6
Keep it
means
close
you're
up.
going to have 6 times as many explosions typically per game.
Oh, there he goes. Goodbye, Tempest. Yeah, and it is interesting. It's sort of an upside of the land speeder style chassis is that they only explode for 1 and only 3 inches.
Yeah,
So
not
a lot of
much.
times they just ping their own unit for 1 if they explode. Whereas, yeah, these Eldar lists, once these Falcons go down and once these sort of Hornets go down in large numbers, it really starts piling up on your own army.
But on 3s, I am going to artisan.
Oh, you're
Actually,
guided.
they're due. They're guided. I don't need the artisan.
Oh, the Hornet actually
that's
has a
fine.
relatively small explosion itself, so it's really just the Falcons.
Yeah, it's
That
sort
are-
of the
that are blown
similar.
up in
It's,
real
it's like a
style,
similar
yeah.
chassis, right? It's a 3-inch one wound.
Yeah.
I did play a game the other day. I played against Tyranids, and all of my opponent's
Oro?
Exocrines death throws
Okay.
into his army.
That is it is so bizarre that they do that.
They get
do
mad.
that, and then it's not
They want to
like
stay on the table.
non-Tyranid models or something.
Yeah, at Valdor, nothing like sniping your own characters.
Okay. And then the 4 shots of those guys, which are 1.
But I know is that when I get shot,
Guide.
in the final epic conflict that takes my life, what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch you right in the face. Just like
1.
I'm going to lose all semblance of the ability to tail friend
they
from
get
foe, and I'm
extra
just going to
plus
like start
one
flailing my arms
safety.
like a
Yep.
5-year-old spinning.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
I mean, maybe
Is there
they're just
cover?
falling over on it.
Question
It's possible.
Yeah,
Those guys weigh a
they're
lot.
just so
like
big.
cover.
They have very strange legs that would never work in real life. So like,
Oh.
they just roll.
Got one. Got him, Chief. Okay. Let's start the
I do.
Viral cannons over
I do
here.
kind of like the inclusion of these servitors. Just for the fact that
Is a little bit more damaging, but
they're just like little idiots
How
that
many
can stand on
shots?
objectives.
One.
Yeah,
They're
like
not
Artisan.
tiny meaningless backfield garbage units
Yeah.
are at a premium these days. They're great,
For sure.
especially if they did not
Yeah.
go up
One at egg
75%, like most
all
such
right,
units
so
did.
Yeah.
3 up.
What puts it as a server right now? Let's see.
Ed Velder lost a captain and a
Salamanders?
lieutenant to
Or-
my own Invictor blowing up. I
Oh,
mean,
you're more
in fairness, that's sort of on
None of it
you.
matters.
Because Invictors,
Fair enough, it does hit, it does
normally
count.
things
Okay.
explode
Shots.
1 out of 6 times, but Invictors explode 5 out of 6 times.
Artisan.
In my
I mean,
experience, they do it every time.
Servitors are sick now.
3 at -2.
They're just these 5-point idiots with a 4+ save that have like a power fist, and are like leadership 9.
4 damage. Does it blow?
You.
Compared to like a Garrote is now 5 points. Like everything's 5 points. These
Last
guys
one, same target.
suddenly went from being broke to
How many shots?
smoke. Like what's a good?
Hits.
That's what the kids say when they see a thing that's pretty hot.
Like 3.
Yeah,
Come on, give me
lit,
that.
dude.
That 4 end ball was.
Hello,
useless.
fellow children.
Fucking hits on a bull.
I did nothing with it.
But they don't
Hello,
work.
fellow kids.
No, not at all.
Yeah, this
But-
land speed is down to 2. I don't know if they'll kill the storm. I guess for me to have been right, technically he also has to kill this land speeder storm because I did say all land
we
speeders.
can call you right. I think you
Okay.
you nailed it for sure.
Cullen nailed it. If it's the land speeders. Look at all these good things.
What do you think Nick targets on his follow-up, though? Obviously, he has a lot of firepower. I imagine. I mean, the Eradicators can pretty reliably kill any one of these units.
So
And the aggressors can probably do the same. Does he focus fire on eliminating the remainder of the Hornets? Does he start splitting shots to take out the Vibro Cannons?
Yeah, you shut
Or do you think he just
the
straight up
javelin.
goes to the Falcons right now?
Sorry.
I think the Hornets die in close combat in this coming turn
Yeah,
regardless.
you both shot the javelins with them.
Okay, gotcha.
I feel there's enough of a punch, and they're close enough to where I suspect both of these units will be dead through some mixture of bikes and assault intercessors and any remaining shots.
And this one shot. I don't believe this one shot yet.
They probably want to sweep in. I mean, the only place where they really can fall in, it looks like on the board right now, is in this back corner with this rubble.
Walker shot there.
So then, to be within 12 inches, they'll probably fire everything at the Warwalkers. Just because
Yeah,
the Falcon's not a good
pretty
target.
sure
They'll kill the
you
entire Warwalker
did
squad, which feels strong.
This one and this
Um,
one, though.
Then the
This
Eradicators
is the one that shot over here.
will have
Small
a
arms.
wider
That's how I figured
selection.
out how I- 'cause I found the Doom one, how I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
it.
Maybe
I know
they
that
also
one for
take out this
sure.
Falcon. I just feel like he's done a relatively good job
I
of
could've sworn he
screening
shot both these at the
his
javelin.
own back, the sides and backfield here.
Yeah,
You
Cullen's
you
doing an
had
excellent job of holding
these
down the 2
going-
most important objectives to him. He wants
Yeah.
to get those
You
10
basically
points
just
every
have
turn
these
on
2 Hornets
primary.
left, right?
I have this one too.
Okay, yeah, that's what I said.
Although
I've been keeping track.
I do feel like that will be hard to maintain on
Oh.
Objective 3 for the
Yeah, fuck.
from this point going forward.
I'm not.
That bike captain, especially if he can manage to
Yeah, you're
tap
not
this
struggling.
Falcon and then move into the support weapon platforms here, is going to become a very annoying
'Cause I
target.
thought they
Looks like
both
the
went
players
to
have a
javelin.
question.
One went to the other javelin. One went to the other javelin.
So yeah, this
What's
one.
the question?
I know I shot this Falcon and this Falcon, but I don't think this one shot. Is that accurate?
I don't recall. I can check this stream.
Because I know this one shot and this one cleaned them up, and then the Viros cleaned up everything else that was there. So this one I don't think shot yet.
And I know we,
Yeah.
we measured line of sight for the Warwalkers from this angle, right?
Yeah, correct.
But we didn't do it for that Falcon.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, it's
But he wasn't shooting the Tempest. I thought he shot both these at the javelin, and I don't know.
this one shot. All 3
Yeah.
of those shot, and that's all that shot at them.
Yeah, I know you have
the
these
2
two.
walkers.
Yeah, all the Warwalkers pretty much
Yeah,
shot here and
But
one over
this
else.
one I actually really don't think shot yet. This stuff blew up from the smite with the executioner, and then the Viros took everything else out here.
Okay. Silly question. What can the Falcon even shoot?
He can see him right here.
Any?
Oh yeah, right on through.
Oh, okay, there it is. All right, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Trevor can double check it, and if not, we can keep the game moving.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm not trying to
Yeah,
change.
I'm
I'm
not-
pretty confident that one is.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, Pulse, Artisan.
I mean, I haven't made any 4-up pinball saves with that guy anyway, so I don't know if it matters.
1 wound, make 3.
Right, like, there we go.
There you go. Okay, and then Star Cannon.
Is Arcane in range? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, barely, but yeah.
Artisan. 1 wound, make 3.
Was that to hit?
That's 2. Both.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm just tranking back to see if I can tell.
Damage. You have a
Oh, yeah, you got
66%
more
chance.
No worries.
Super lag. He's dead. Does it low? Yes! Yeah.
Alright, let me double check if it's 3 inches or 6 inches on them.
Yeah, I think it's 3
Like-
probably. I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah, 6 inches. So it's just those two guys.
And I think those guys
I
in the
don't
back.
play them. Yeah. I'll remove this tactical. One of these guys take 1 wound.
Commander.
I don't. Yeah, the captain should not be in range because he was 6 inches to the one closer, not there.
Yeah, I meant the
Oh,
proxy.
lieutenant. Yeah. He's got a 4-up against mortals now. No, that's the relic guy. Sorry, that's kind of fucking annoying.
You're
So,
good.
not making the 4-up, not making barely any 4-ups on that.
Okay, this Hornet's gonna shoot at those Marines on that objective.
Alright, cool. Yeah, turn my light on.
6 shots. Artisan. Artisan. 4 of those Marines need to do a 6-up. That's it.
They get the cover.
Not from my angle.
No, there's some items that give you cover if you're within.
Oh, gotcha.
So from what I can see, it does look like that Falcon did fire. I think at the Tempest Squad in the center earlier.
Was it this one back here? This is
No,
the
no.
one that shot itself at the center.
Well, I mean, so without audio in the stream, you measured from this Falcon and into the guy in the center, and then rolled Falcon shots.
Yeah, but that was because this one had to shoot first because of the line of sight issues that he could only hit that Tempest. That's why I didn't shoot him, because this one, if the Tempest blew up, then this one wouldn't be able to shoot at anything. But you're the judge.
Your call. I don't care either way.
We're gonna call it as fired for this one to keep the game
Okay.
moving.
No worries.
Yeah.
All right, that means
So-
didn't blow up. This mortal wound damage didn't happen.
Yeah, it did happen. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So just for the future, I mean, it probably makes sense to mark the units that you have fired so that we don't have that
Yeah.
question again.
Yeah, that's why we were putting dice out.
Cool.
Okay, so 4 of those have
4
changed.
wounds. Did you do damage? There are 2 wounds.
Yeah. They're 2 wounds apiece.
Yeah.
No, this was your armor save.
All right.
Yeah, but they're
We worked it out.
damage each, right?
That was quite the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, when you have a big Eldar army, I don't know, pay attention to to what you're shooting. It sure looks like, at least without going back through the last 30 minutes of the stream, it does look like Cullen did fire that at one of the Tempests. He measured a couple ranges from it and then rolled shots.
I would call that guard gunline syndrome, where both you and your opponent just become so punch drunk off of the fact that you've done the same
Yeah.
thing 45 times.
I think it's
really
almost
crack what's happening.
compounded by Eldar because like you master artisans over the course of like 17 individual shooting steps. Like it's just blends together.
Yeah.
So I think at that point, even if that Falcon had not shot, I don't really feel like bogging down the entire game for the next 25 minutes to work it out exactly. But pay attention.
Yeah, having some sort of aid to determine what you have shot, or some sort of system at least, to where you can be like,
Yeah.
I work from the right to the left, so obviously I would have done this by
Yeah,
now.
I like
but
to spawn checkers on TTS and then just label them things.
I like to just play armies that are like, you know, very straightforward,
yeah.
easy.
But it looks like the last couple Hornets are shooting, picking up these OBSEC units on objective 2.
Yep.
So that is going to remove that objective from Nick on his follow-up turn, but he is still going to hold. Unless we can see those servitors get taken out, he is still going to get those 15 points.
Surprised lack of shots taken at these Eradicators sitting on objective 4, though. I was expecting those to be almost a priority over the some of the existing land speeders. Certainly they're going to do more than
But there's still
you know, one of those javelins was going to.
But if I could see,
And I feel like they would have been an easier target, but maybe not. Maybe the ranges are prohibitive their line of sight.
From any all base size, right? So
okay.
that's
So artisan, and then I need your toughness 3, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So 4 at neg.
How many points just fell off the table in that first turn? We say it was about 120 points each.
Oh, we think we got the servitors. Brutal.
Oh, I
Yikes.
called it.
Oh, no.
Somebody better pick up that phone,
I tried.
Oh, man. Well,
as
so
I
that,
called it.
yeah, we lose 5 primary points for Nick.
Oh, that land speeder was not towing on the 2, and it could have been too.
Yeah, it probably could have been
Yeah,
for
10.
sure. I think Nick is trying to protect it as much as he can, which is fair, because at least he has
only
something
get
else to keep
4
there next
for
turn.
Raise the
Yeah.
banners.
Yeah, wow, that was brutal.
Yikes. Yeah, I honestly, what
Naked
I was
Fennel
mentioning,
in the chat, just bring an army with no guns. Then you don't have to remember which one's shot. Fact, dude. Preach it.
27 Beasts of Nurgle has its own confusing statistics you have to track.
All right, so we are over in Nick's turn 2. We'll flip the clock back over to him.
When I was saying that he could see those servitors back on 6, I did not think it mattered because I did not expect him to be able to kill all the land speeders
To kill
and the full intercessor squad sitting on 2.
6 land speeders and an infiltrator squad and
Yeah.
a unit of
You know?
servitors. Oh my god.
Even I underestimated the damage output of this army that I feel like we should have understood by now. I mean, I've been making some jokes about the commonality of Mech Eldar during the introduction, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say, it's roughly 50% of all armies I played towards the end of 8th.
Oh, in fairness, he did only kill 5 land speeders,
It's true.
including 2 relic javelins, which are the hardest land speeder to kill.
Go there. Just charge.
Yeah, so Nick now planning to try to sneak
This,
objective
obviously
3
we're in
out
tactical
from under
doctrine
Cullen.
here.
Force him down to 5 primary points, which will be good. But these players just have to continue the brutalization of each other's armies for as long as possible.
This is going to be such a harsh swing back. Like, the moment those Eradicators and Aggressors show up, I got to imagine this Warwalker squad's gone.
Yeah. What are these aggressors?
Probably both these Hornets.
What are these the Eradicators on 4 even shoot, though? Like 1 Hornet?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's one Hornet, just with maximum rage in their eyes. I mean, they could probably tag one of these 2 Hornets sitting on 3 so that the Assault Intercessors can pour everything into the other, and the Bite Captain can hit the Falcon, kill that, and then consolidate the support weapon platforms. It feels like that might be the best play.
Yeah.
Then you're really hoping for a real strong swing on the outflank of the Aggressors to kill off the full Warwalker squad. Like, if all of that comes to pass, then there's not a lot of Eldar left on the table at the end of this turn. But that is depending on average to above average rolls for all of that to go perfectly.
Yeah.
These guys back a little bit.
Add Veldar, Samuel, and Sable Claw as a Chonky Land Speeder. Yeah, you're right. But if only Samuel could outfit a relic javelin.
What about that one
How
land
sick
speeder
that-
that has like the dude playing like dubstep in the back, and then it has like these
Oh, the Dark
Like-
Talon?
plasma cannons that just look like they're the end of a vacuum
That's
hose.
like I think it's like the same defensive profile as a javelin.
If we ever do a tier maker and it's just models, like the quality of models, that's going straight to S plus as a joke, and then we're
Maybe
gonna
our
drop
next
it
tier
into
maker
F.
video should be just the best land speeders.
There are enough. We can do a
Best
tier maker.
varieties of Primaris.
Yeah, we can do a tier maker just on the best Forge World relic Dreadnought.
I don't
of those 750 that they have.
Do Hornets have a grav tank rule? Do you measure to their base or their model?
I don't think they have that rule. I believe you measure to their base. Let me look. Hover tank distance are always measured from the model's hull.
Yeah.
Distances and ranges. This is a little weird. Distances and ranges. Does that include assault?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that was updated, thank goodness, in
Oh, the
9th
6-inch up
edition,
cone.
Yeah,
Oh,
is
yeah.
Your engagement range now extends 5 inches in a cylinder above your head.
You can now assault a Falcon.
Yeah, so now a lot of the
Right.
Eldar grav tanks, you could actually set them up theoretically in 8th edition so that they were untargetable by melee attacks.
Yep. Yeah, you put the
because
Falcon
you
on
could-
its tallest base,
Yeah,
and then
you
it's
could
over
make
inch
them,
off the table.
Too tall.
Yep.
Which
I
was
guess
pretty good tech.
unless you parked it next to like the second story of a ruin or something.
Right, there were situations where you could like walk up a hill and then punch
Yeah.
them. You had to punch down, but you had to like catch them in midair. You had to like leap up into the atmosphere.
Just-
But now that you have
It's just karate kicks.
yeah, everyone's a giant cylinder in terms of engagement range. Now that you can actually fight things.
Whoa.
All right, that Jaws music is starting to play here. Might not have the full distance enough to tag the Falcon and still get into the sport weapon platform, but the Landspeeder Tempest itself could probably pull it off, and looks like it's angling to try.
Can we reposition this guy?
Ooh,
Is there an angle
maybe
he can
we
go at where he isn't overlapping the table edge?
maybe we can't position reposition that guy. Does that
Yes,
also measure
good
for all
point.
distances from the hull?
Probably not, because it's otherwise.
And are
an
its little
instant-
weird
is it
wings the
instant
hull?
base or for the hull?
What is a hull?
Okay. I'm guessing for my base.
Yeah, it's just the issue is the wings.
Alright, I was looking at the side thinking he was good.
Yeah, honestly, because you'll measure your engagement range from your base, but you measure whether you're off the table from your hull. You may be able to rotate it like this.
So this
and
this
then I think
thing.
you're okay.
So the Landspeeder Tempest does not have the rule where it measures
'Cause I
anything
wanna
from its
make
model.
sure
So
this
does that
is
mean it
basically where
does
we were, so I can
do
just
this?
go see
Does it
from
care?
there. Something like that could work then.
It does not have any of like the hover
Yeah, that looks
hover
good.
tank rules.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's it's a stupid idiosyncrasy of the rules, but because it doesn't have that hover tank rule, you measure from its base for all distances. Except that to determine whether or not you're over the table edge, you use any part of the model.
I mean, do infantry also do that? Like if you just
Yep.
have like a overhanging
Yeah.
picol,
You
or
can't have your sword sticking
Thanks,
over the
game.
edge of the battlefield.
it's Games Workshop.
That's a black hole. You'll get sucked in.
I mean, it could be given these delightful backgrounds reason right now.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah, we are in the depths
So
of the Crab
we're-
Nebula
The
over
Farseer
here.
can't see anything over here, and this Farseer can't see anything over here.
Correct.
Just making
I wonder if
sure
that Tempest
before
is
I
angling
come
for a
get
shot on
them,
that Farseer. I think he is.
Not get shot.
Go get him. Go
I kind of
get him,
suspect.
little
I
buddy.
suspect it's just as close to these support weapons as it can be for a follow-up assault.
And so this is.
Yeah, potentially.
Because your ring.
But man, taking what was this Farseer have?
Your model does not want to go to an.
Since Fortune, taking Fortune off the table is pretty nice. You want the Doom one, but the Doom one's
It's good, but if you can,
pretty safe.
Fortune doesn't really do anything. Guide doesn't do much. Doom doesn't do much if you've managed to base everything in their army anyway. Like if they have no guns, then the force multiplier
Yeah.
is
So here
multiplying
come
0.
the aggressors down by objective 5.
Oh, not what I expected.
Yeah, I expected them by objective 2, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, here at least they have the reroll, access to the rerolls.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is honestly sort of the Salamander's stronghold right now on objective 5 because there's so much less Eldar there, and he can use this building to block a lot of real estate and keep his OBSEC model safe on that objective.
Yeah.
So if he forces all of the Eldar, if he blasts through all the Eldar on objective 3, he's going to be able to sort of consolidate onto that onto 5 and be relatively safe. And if he can push up onto objective 3, he can even use the building against Cullen to hide his models in the shadow zone behind it.
Here.
At Valtoros lose my assassins on the T5S2 tabletopper. They're just too sneaky, man.
We did have a hard time finding that Calidus assassin.
We
in
did.
The game
We
we cast
did.
the other day.
We did. Yeah, she was sneaky, but then she got killed by a last cannon, so you know, it is what it is.
Man, this is just not what I expected. Well, you're right, this definitely is now a very strong flank for the Salamanders. I feel like debilitating the flank by number 2, like really just solidifying that the Eldar just can't have this location.
Yeah, well, I feel
Feels
like
that would have also been a very strong play.
That was sort of the most obvious play, right?
Yeah.
Is to jump into this light cover, like that's very appetizing. You get to hit all of these big tanks, you get to just blast right off the table with that firepower. But you're then trading those infantry. Whereas where they are right now, it's unlikely that all of the return fire can be drawn to these units.
Or at the very least, they have to move closer to Objective 2, which then means that they are vulnerable to the infantry just, moving through this wall and assaulting them.
Well, wait a second. That's not... I thought... So 16 frame first.
I think we're seeing maybe the specific weakness of the Eldar the Eldar mech list, when it does lack that high-speed melee unit. I like to call them the get off my lawn unit.
Especially with these. I also asked. I said, hey, it has to be in sight of your Farseer. Your Farseer has to see. I asked that,
you got it in front of you.
No, I asked for the strategy of your Farseer has to see. And you said, yeah.
I know I didn't. I didn't say anything. Farseer doesn't need to see anything. It's the unit that has to see.
Well, then that's a clarification. That's if you say don't say anything or you say yes, then that's a gotcha moment.
I mean, that's the point of the card, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm asking clarification on the stratagem. That's the case. If you're telling me that the Farseer doesn't need to see, and I'm asking that, and then you say no, then that's a gotcha moment.
Well, I didn't say no, but I mean that's fine. No worries.
I asked for clarification on that.
So it is within line of sight of a unit within 6 inches.
Okay, not the Farseer.
Correct.
Okay, so that changes some things.
Oof.
Okay, so then that means
drama.
And it has to be 6 inches still of the Farseer, though, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're talking about the forewarned stratagem right now for Craftworlds. Let them intercept a unit.
And that means your Warwalker.
As long as they're within 6 inches of the
You have how many Warwalkers I could place here? So I would have to.
I can see this whole area basically. This
well, for the aggressors, yeah. I'm wondering if I can put the Eradicators here, if that's the case. Can you see them? There.
You know what's not within 6 inches of these Farseers? This flank over here.
Yeah, basically everything. It's literally just the Warwalkers.
Okay, yeah, that was the whole reason why I was asking about should I just move the aggressors and not.
But I think it's only two. Maybe two Warwalkers.
Because I don't have the.
Is it
block,
units
basically
or model?
So need to do something like
I
that.
believe that it's a unit.
So I can still see that.
Gets picked for the forewarned. But obviously, they won't be able to hit it.
Let's do this. I want to make sure.
Yeah.
We're gonna go back and forth like this a lot. I don't want to. I'll make this easier. Why is my thing so big? Oh, line.
Right there, I cannot see you.
Yeah, then I just want to draw the line here because that was the wall, so to speak. So
just
I go.
Just be careful. There's a little divot in the wall too.
Okay, so something like that then. Okay.
Go ahead and give them a hand.
I'll do that.
Cool.
All right, so then I will leave the aggressors off because I don't need to bring them in right now. That's basically what it comes down to.
Yeah. That's fair.
He's got 6 wounds.
All right, looks like Nick is just going to go ahead and leave his aggressors in reserve. Bring them in next turn.
What's that? All right, so...
I think that's fair. If the goal is to kill everything on Objective 3, then the aggressors... I think he has enough on this side of the table to do that without the aggressors' help.
With Inquisitor, the Hornet here.
Kind of a risky swing, though. I mean, he's moving all of his guns to shoot the things that he needs to assault.
Easy.
Yeah, I mean, this captain still only needs
shooting
like a 5 to hit that Falcon.
Yeah, but what are these assault intercessors moved out to theoretically get a little bit of distance? Otherwise, they definitely want to stay behind this obscuring terrain here.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he ends up going for those Hornets with the shooting.
3 heavy bolter shots.
I wonder. I have to imagine this Falcon is sort of public enemy number 1 over here.
4, 5.
Did the aggressors stay off the table?
They did, yeah.
Master Artist?
Yeah, there was nowhere that he could
Ooh.
bring it in. That's what we were just talking about. There's nowhere he could bring it in where it wouldn't get forewarned. I think he could mitigate the damage and just get hit with 1 Warwalker maybe, but I guess he wasn't willing to give up the real estate for it. But if he clears Objective 3, he can bring those guys in sort of in a slightly more opportune area and threaten Objective 1 with them next turn. So I think that's going to be the play. He's going to pivot the game plan a little bit.
The obvious loss is just whatever those units kill, like the opportunity cost, like whatever that aggressor squad would have killed will now still exist and will further reduce the Salamanders' numbers in the following Eldar turn. Like, that's always the gamble with keeping things off the table, is that they're not acting, they're not.
All right, these
performing
intercessors find their.
You're leaving
I'm not within 12, so
you're leaving the enemy
outside
stack
of 12
to sit there and keep doing his job.
15 shots to the Hornet.
And those Warwalkers will do a lot of work.
Eradicators.
I might need to figure out where I want the Eradicators to
Forewarn
go.
is good, but
Master Artisan here.
Not bad. Pretty decent.
Yep, working for 5s. Master Artisan, not.
There we go. There's tabletop sim.
There's some casual auto bull rifle shots going on here.
Okay.
Delicious auto bull rifles for free now. What a unit.
These are probably the most casual of the weapons available to Salamanders.
You have pulse lasers on these.
Just kind of
ones,
dress
right?
down, they'll wear like a hat.
That's why they're flat 2 damage.
And they're
I
heavy
want a
3.
nice hat.
Okay.
Correct. Each 6 shots.
Alright, these Eradicators are just going to fire into the Hornets.
Yes.
All right, looks like we're just going to try to vaporize these Hornets here.
Hornets.
We're going to try to eradicate them.
Hitting on
But
3.
you hit up
How are we
threes,
moving these
right?
elf intercessors
So
out
we
then? What's going on?
roll, and it doesn't really matter. It's yeah, just go for it.
Okay.
You get 2 shots, right?
I get 6 shots basically. So Master Artisan to reroll 1s for the
For the
captain.
chances these
so 3
godlike
hits.
supermen with the ability to kill
2s,
any tank
'cause I'm
anywhere at any
Salamanders,
time
plus
will be
1
able to
wound.
kill
Lieutenant.
a thing with a toughness of 6 and 8 wounds.
3 wounds. AP 5.
I mean, they're just. I think there's a 9-0 chance they just kill both Hornets.
I'm an assault.
Oh, those are assault beltas. Oh,
yeah,
fair
these
enough.
guns are
Good job.
ridiculous, man.
Roll them.
3s with a full reroll, 2s with a reroll,
3 of them go through.
and D6 plus 2
Oh
damage.
man, those are
Easy.
so good.
Does 3 damage.
Yep.
Second one does 6 damage, so it kills it.
Yep. Does
And-
blow up. Nope.
Oh, and then next one does 5 damage.
Hey.
Alright, and then
Shoot 'em again.
same place, same spot.
I'm just gonna remove him. I don't really care. I'm not gonna waste your time or your intelligence. Does he blow up? He does not
Yeah.
Blow up. Okay, cool. Super well written bottle.
Yep.
I thought they were heavy.
No,
Deep
no.
assault.
Um,
That's pretty good for turn 2.
Yeah, my
Yeah. These
my apologies.
Eradicators
It's,
are going
it's
here.
D6 or 2D6. Pick the highest.
They
It's
move
not plus
though,
2.
right? So you don't get the double shots.
No, they still get the double shots.
That's
Only
not
if they fire at the same target. do they
That's
get the
that's the
double shot.
ATV. Chat's talking about it. That's the Invader.
Alright.
The Invader melts
That's
melt.
that.
Not gonna waste your time.
Right.
I wonder if that's
Charge
something that we see
here.
get changed in the
He's got Guy
in the
in
new Space Marine book
Fortune.
though.
Just don't think I care.
What would be?
I think that there is a rumor going around, and now that we've seen some of the
charge
data
there.
sheets that are potentially coming out of the new Space Marine book, that the Melta rule gets
Alright,
changed
so
to plus
this
2
Land Speeder
damage.
Tempest.
instead
Oh
of
yeah, yeah.
fire
I've seen.
at this
I've now
missile
seen that in a
support
couple of places.
Okay.
It's
Which is
that's a
way
better.
better.
It's a much better system.
Way better. I mean, it's also
gonna fire
faster
everything.
too, right? Which is awesome.
That one. So,
I also
Tempest
there's
launchers.
an interesting thing is that it introduced algebra to
3
the
shots.
table. You see D3 plus 2.
3,
Or sorry, D6 plus 2 in that box,
Three
which is
zoom.
not a thing that they've ever been willing to do. Like
Master
that just
Artisan,
short form algebraic notation where
2
you
wounds, AP3.
just use that like grade school math that
three.
theoretically anyone who can
Yeah,
play
make
this
3.
game should
So 4
be able to
damage.
figure out anyway. Whereas previously they've always it's been like a paragraph,
And
and those
then
like
the assault
paragraphs
cannon.
are
6 shots.
I don't know, I mean unnecessary. They take up a lot of space. They
Or to use
they
Master
make so you
Artisan
can't put
reroll
other
here.
abilities in there,
And looking for 3s. 4 wounds.
and
AP one,
honestly
so
you lose a lot of design space. Like, There's all kinds of things you can now put into that box
Yeah,
other
'cause I
than
did 4
D3
damage.
plus 2. You can do like just a regular gun could be D6 plus 4 if you want like a really heavy gun that always instead of writing down like D6 minimum 4 or
Yeah.
2D6, like it gives you just
Alright,
a wide new
so that
variety of
covers
possible
that.
damage profiles.
Looks like
These assault intercessors. they're
Cullen
firing
actually
heavy
burned
bolt
his CP
pistols
there to
here.
try
I
to
got
save
3 of them.
some vibro cannon platform from this
the-
Tempest. But this Tempest,
You can
its
fire.
wrath knows no bounds, and it
One can.
shot down that vibro
can.
cannon.
It doesn't have much more
Yeah, so
to
we're
spend
gonna
those
fire
CP
1
on
to
anyway.
back support weapon platform. Master Artisan, our captain actually reroll. He hits. Looking for a 5. Master Artisan. Wounds, AP1.
Good.
Okay.
Jeez,
You want on
this
the
game is a
Falcon.
bloodbath.
Hits.
Yeah.
Holy
Wounds,
crap.
AP1.
Remind me again, what turn is this right now?
This is top of 2.
It's AP1 still. He's within the 12 inches.
Yeah, you
Would
asked
be-
earlier how many
12?
points
Okay.
had been removed from the
Yeah.
table, and I mean it's like a full
they're
army
there.
worth of points is dead right now, right? Like it's a
I think,
full.
I think I also
2,000.
said, will we make it to turn 4
The
right at the start of this? And I gotta say,
this
no.
guy's gonna fire
It's
the
questionable.
Neo Crate.
The answer's
Yeah,
It's
maybe these players just kill each other
the
before
Falcon.
that. Oh my gosh.
2 hits, strength 5, looking for 5s.
Our last game,
um,
earlier game today, was
Lieutenant
super quick as well. The
and
players, I think,
Master
used
Artisan, nothing.
maybe 90 minutes. between them.
Captain is gonna fire into that back.
And this one looks like it
platform.
may be going the same direction.
Be 4
We're
shots
going to take
here.
some really long early
Reroll.
turns and then just totally pee
4
around and
hits.
run out of models.
Looking for 5s. Lieutenant and Master Artisan.
Yeah, add Valdor in the chat. That's a good point too. Last
Wounds,
game,
AP1.
the players spent the entire
this on?
game trying to mitigate
The
damage and
support
hiding and
weapon.
playing cagey.
Okay.
In this game,
Damage.
we've thrown caution to the
1
wind.
damage each.
We're,
No, this,
Cool.
we're just gonna kill each other.
we're in the Cretaceous. We got 2 Pachycephalosauruses here. They want to
He's
see
fired, he's
who the
fired,
biggest dog is,
fine.
even though the dinosaurs not dogs.
These
And
guys
they're just
are
gonna
just
hit their bony heads into
totally
each other,
objective.
even though scientists now think they.
I
don't
forgot
do
to with the
that.
chaplain again. Well, I've read
But
his powers.
That's what they did in Jurassic Park.
Still
That's what
not
they do in my
needed either.
Yeah.
I'm a little
So we're gonna do assaults.
upset
Cool.
that we actually aren't gonna get
Captain is gonna
Salamanders
go
versus Adeptus
into-
Mechanicus, or
We're gonna do
this,
the
this
intercessors
Mekdar
first.
versus
We
Adeptus
got-
Mechanicus and get a
we
rematch
got
of
9-inch
every
first.
single
Yep.
8th edition finals for the last like 2 months of the.
Are you,
of the
are you actually
editions.
sad about
do I
that,
get
or are
two
you
I
just
am a
like
little bit.
just
For the Overwatch,
happy?
I
one
just-
for the
I wanna-
superior roll.
Hey,
I want to
Battle
see these
Pulse.
lists. These two
Pulse it,
meta
powers.
giants punch each other in
Okay.
the face.
1 armor save, Nick 3.
With like
Right.
one Corn Lord of Skulls that would,
Does
you
it
know,
go through?
3 and 1,
Yes,
just
it does.
just barely out of contention,
Star
just kind
Cannon.
of like with one
Hey,
tier.
hit.
Yeah, interesting match update on that front. Phil Barfoot playing the Triple Lord of Skulls got absolutely smashed in his
Sim
first
for the
game.
win. He was
Of
Yeah, how did
Group
that
3.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like seeing those 2 lists, that is not the result. I
Yeah,
would've
versus
said. I don't know how that
I
happens.
think we
Yeah,
may have
charge,
we may
that's
have
why.
made several mistakes in our faction ranking, Shuma, because he got 3988
Okay.
scored.
Did Ragnar just
by-
kill one?
by
just like himself in one
Yeah.
round?
Play Overwatch.
He can.
Yeah, I think he lost.
it's
He lost
only
all
one
3
time now.
Lordsy Skulls. They all died.
I can't Overwatch twice.
I mean, I'll do that, but I'm playing history's greatest
Yeah, I
list
think
of
you
all
can only
time.
do one
I don't know how-
Overwatch.
That's not how
So
Space Wolves do
By
that.
captain into the
Looks
Falcon.
like we're charging. All the Hornets are dead now.
7
We're gonna
ends.
go in with the captain and try to beat up this Falcon. There he
You
comes.
got these assault intercessors, which are not on 5 anymore.
Okay.
Although I suppose if push comes to shove, you have the Primaris Chaplain back here. who's
This
probably pretty safe.
Tempest.
You get those
and
eradicators in
2,
there,
you can't
too?
Overwatch anymore.
Although actually, this Primaris Chaplain looks like he's outside of 3 inches, and it's
So,
actually not safe.
This
Apparently, this man
Tempest
could just be shot dead.
into
Although he's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
well
the
camouflaged. in
support
there.
weapon.
He's
That's
not
true.
easy to see.
He is in
Yeah.
dense cover, so he's gonna be -1 to hit. I mean, he's
Technically,
Yeah.
he's
actually, no,
a
you should
beefy
remove that
boy
platform.
already. He's 5 wounds with a 4+ immortal save. I think he'll be
Also,
okay.
He's got to slide 3 through. That's not that hard to do.
But he's also within
Well,
3 of those
there.
tactical marines, so we're okay.
Is he?
All right.
You think so?
Yeah, it's 2.7. I'll tell you right now.
Okay, cool.
Why can you get to measure and I don't? It's
I'm the
not fair.
game master. I'm the master
The
of
white
this
captain
game.
just
This is
I'm
why
in
I
it.
make the minimum
really like
wage
this.
here, and you're just like
yeah.
pulling home
feels
Teslas per
good.
week.
Well, I mean, the
The TPW there. That's how you
I
measure
refuse
your
to buy,
your
I
income.
refuse to buy the speeders though.
Well,
Anything outside China.
I wouldn't buy the speeders until the Forge World book comes out. So
Yeah, that's
'cause
probably.
they're all these are all gone probably till
We
when
might
the
be
Space
doing
Marine
some
book comes out,
40k
I'm sure.
speculating between
Yeah.
the players here.
All right, so I got 5 attacks
All right,
on
Captain.
the Falcon.
Cool.
Hit
I'm
it,
just gonna-
kill it.
I'm gonna spend +1 to wound.
Ooh, Crucible Battle coming out.
I'm gonna spend 2 to lightning fast. I'll spend these on. Nick,
Okay.
what a hit! Hey, you're hitting on 4s.
Yep, that's
Talking
fair.
about good
think
good
we'll
wanna do double
purchases
damage
of
now.
third party Forge World models here.
think
Figuring those
I-
out.
actually,
The
do.
lightning fast reactions wouldn't affect the Thunderhammer, right?
Oh no, yeah, because it's already -1
what-
to
I
hit.
thought that's
so
just-
it's-
Oh, that's right. You
Phase.
can't throw anything over that. I will take my seat.
Let's look.
yeah,
That's right.
that's a good
Yep,
catch. Trevor.
That is a
Um,
good catch. Oh, that's Thunderfires or Thunderhammers are so good now.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend another
Yeah,
+1 to
players
wound.
miss a little interaction there.
Yeah,
lightning
um,
fast reactions or any
I
already-
hit penalty does not
can't
work
be-
against Thunderhammers or
I already have
Barrels.
+1 to wound. I'm spending another one for +1 strength, which makes me
Gotcha.
strength 9.
Oh, that's what you mean. I
Like
thought you meant they
60
could not be used
the
in the
bigger
face.
thing I'm looking for is 6s is double damage.
Cool.
So that's the big thing what I'm looking for. All right, so hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s.
Yoink,
Oh
womp,
boy.
womp. Hey.
This captain
hits.
going ham here. 4 hits with the Thunder Hammer.
Looking for 2s.
Winning on 2s now. Boom. All 4. And -3. Go for 6s.
6 up save.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll make
I
two of
mean, I'll
these.
keep that. yeah.
No 6s,
Save. See
please.
if I can make one.
Oh, he made
No!
one. Takes 9.
No.
Oh, does he spend on the fight again to just make this happen?
No, there's no reason, right? Because he's already contesting that objective.
You get to swing
I don't
back.
think that there's anything
He's
in the
taking a wound, buddy.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, I get the
anything in the building
Tempest. He's
now.
going to pile in here, attack
go.
both, and then he's going to swing.
And it looks like the Tempest did charge
he's
into
got
those
3
vibro
attacks?
weapons to tie him up.
3.
All right.
Shock assault.
This swing
I don't
back
think
from
I've
Nick
ever
was pretty
actually been
good.
charged by a land speeder Tempest in my entire 40k years.
Yeah, they hit on 3s.
They
Welcome
hit
to
on
that.
Yeah.
And
Or U5s.
I love that the
Master
Tempest,
Artisan.
the land speeder, the
Wow.
one land speeder with an enclosed pressurized canopy, the dude can still reach out and punch you with a
take
fist.
it in the face.
Take it into the dome.
Oh, I forgot this. I forgot to
I
charge
mean, it's,
these
you
guys.
know, he's just using this like sphere-shaped tank that he's in. He's
Yeah,
just
I forgot to charge
spinning it side to side.
Bottom
Yeah,
six,
maybe
sharp
those
attack, Falcon
those little
on 6.
sensory antenna on the wings
Artisan.
there are actually
Get in the
used
box.
for melee. They're
Nope.
shock
And
prods.
my actual
Yeah.
support weapon
That he
actually
uses to
gets
hit you.
2 attacks.
I mean, you just move this lance weapon it's got up and down really fast.
No,
Just you bat you with it a little bit.
4, I believe. So 5s.
Pop.
My strength 4?
Which one? The Falcon?
No,
Yeah.
strength 3.
Oh yeah, he spins his turret around like a whirlwind.
Oh, were you talking about the vibro cannon before?
No, the land speeder Tempest.
Blocks. Into
Oh.
your home.
It has like the
Oh.
standard land speeder melee
Oh,
stats.
God.
It's 2 attacks,
Yeah.
hits on 3s, but the guy's locked inside of
Nothing.
a pressurized cockpit.
All right, so I got
How's he punching?
another
No, he's got the
2,
kitchen
4,
knives
6.
on his
Yeah.
on both his wings.
Yeah, that's what
Bring
I'm
it
saying.
down.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like a taser
It's,
gun.
it's like a kabod.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time. Just max it. I told you.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's why they call those land speeder javelins.
All right, cool. I think that is it for me.
Because they literally impale their enemies. All right, so that is the end of.
Okay, so my secondaries are gonna lose me this game.
Next turn.
But I get a hold one. We are.
Yeah, and he's
contesting.
killing it on secondaries, as Cullen was
Yeah,
just
but I
pointing
don't
out.
know.
Nick, I think that they
Yeah.
he's at probably
Okay, I
13
got
on Bring It
custom
Down right
damage
now. I
system.
don't think he's maxed quite yet, but they just decided to
generate
max it
CP.
already.
Yeah.
Because
Commence
I don't
the
think there's any
jiggling.
way he doesn't. No, he should be at 14, I think,
Get over there, boys.
but that's okay.
This-
But
this game is-
obviously, Nick up.
Farseer.
What was that? 14 points on secondaries.
Yeah.
Casual.
One might say enough.
Yeah, casual 14 points on secondaries.
Okay.
Although,
Well,
again,
it's the one with the wings.
It's turn 2.
Yeah, no kidding.
Still enough there to do my little second.
Yeah, and Valdor. Yeah, maybe he pops the hatch
Yeah.
of the Tempest,
Is he? Can
He
you
just
point
drive-bys.
this out on me, Mario? Just like,
or maybe they have like a little
think you are.
hatch on
I
the
mean,
side.
where's
He can
his-
just
where's
reach
the
his arms
zone?
out.
Fucking things. Oh, here we go.
Like maybe those windows roll down. Who
Is
knows?
it
I
coming
mean,
up?
the
There we
Tempest
go.
looks like a giant shoe, so maybe
That's not
someone's just like
deployment zone,
stepping
it's like
on you with it.
I think it's,
show table quarters.
in my opinion, though, it is. I think one of the coolest models in Space Marine right
I
now.
think you.
It's
yeah, I
units
think you're
within
there.
6.
It is.
Middle.
I thought you were, but yeah.
what's up? Oh, no.
I said I thought you were, but
I
yeah.
wonder if he knows that. So it looks like we're definitely trying to angle to get Salamanders back off of Objective 2 again, probably with the hope that we can then blast the captain off of 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward to knock Nick down to less objectives because I mean, what is he gonna? What's he putting on 3? Right, like these Space Marine cap. I guess he. I mean, you could fall back one support weapon, maybe.
Or model.
I mean, you just advance the Farseer, so he's just
Or
towing into the objective,
I
then
guess so, yeah.
shoot the tactical marines off of 6 back here, and kill his
you
land
didn't
speeder
hold
storm,
with
and
him.
suddenly it's 3-2 again.
Yep.
Or model. Yep, wholly with it. Okay, so that's.
I guess until the captain then
Oh.
kills this falcon, so you have to put a third thing on here.
Did have that
right?
last turn. One,
That guy's not this falcon just leaves.
so I
Right,
did
the
get-
Falcon
yeah,
falls
you get
back. It is
to-
bottom bracket, so it is. They're pretty slow.
That would be
I
table
think it's
quarters.
only 8.
So. The
Oh, the
Hornet.
Hornet was in here. No, the
And
Hornet
he,
was in
he's gonna get
Yeah,
heroic
I'm
in,
gonna get
in any location he can fit.
Yeah, yeah. So if he was able to fall back out,
Pushed
yeah,
them
he
so
just
far
gets
back,
heroics.
which I guess I was okay for sure, but yeah.
Part of the,
Yeah, I think
the
going
support weapons
first
move.
was really
Falcon
good.
can just tow out support weapon, pop in, and then he
Because,
can
I
probably
mean,
only hit one
you
or
did
the
cause a lot
other.
of
If
damage
he
too,
if
and,
he
like,
really
you were
wants to
getting
try and
damage,
get
just
hold more, I mean, you could probably just
like, there's There's like no chance I'm
Toe the Farseer and then tie.
I mean, I can
Each
go
player
for
just
one.
each player just gets
You're
2.
gonna outscore me with your secondary.
Assuming you
better.
spend the points to kill these Space Marines,
We'll keep going
these
with
tactical
this
Marines on 6, which might not even be the best use of the firepower.
Yeah, Colin's saying
that was the thing I was questioning about going first so much. Wasn't
that he
for sure
might.
at all, to be honest. Like,
I
knew we'd have that
he's,
big
worried,
strength.
he's thinking
I
he's
just
going to lose
figured
because of
your
the
army was so
secondary
big,
picks.
mechanized. I didn't think you could hide everything.
I really didn't. I mean, you killed a lot. You still killed, 350 points worth of stuff turn 1, and then but the issue is pinning me in, and there's so much terrain on my side that it actually prevents me from even like I killed a lot of your stuff, but it was all in the center. Like I was only able to kill stuff that was right here, which you didn't really care about because now you just have me.
Now that the players are having this discussion
I can get really lucky
about
here,
the terrain actually
Yeah,
on
the big
Cullen's
reason
side of
behind
the
it
table
was
benefiting
actually getting the Eradicators out.
Nick.
those things are so
Just because there's so much
That way I
obscuring
could
terrain
outflank.
that
That was
Nick
my
can
big
sort
concern. Because I
jump
figured if he
behind
went
because
first,
he's
I
so
didn't think I
fast.
could get the
Yeah.
edges.
of,
that was my
do you
worry.
think it would have
Yeah,
been
they
worth it
know
for
you
Cullen
block
to
it.
take the
They're so
attacker
fucking
side,
good.
the side with the
What?
burning oil,
He's just gonna move over here.
with objectives? The side on the left here with objectives 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
So fucking good.
so the downside is you don't.
Especially with the plus
Yeah,
one
the downside
right?
is you
Yeah.
don't get very many choice shots, and a
even
much
my
a much
list
more
I consider
heavily
is
infantry-based
cheesy,
Salamanders
but
army
those
can really
Eradicators are able to
put
just-
everything into this like this
I'll even right here,
ruin
don't
here,
even roll.
and then just move
They're
out
dead.
and get free
Whatever
reign.
you shoot at is gonna die.
But
And in fact, they're negative.
that is
5.
definitely a significant. No, because I mean, like
God.
you have the
And they're
opposite
plus
problem
one
here.
to
Like
wound
at that
from
point,
Salamanders.
Because
the
your
Salamanders can
most
just
of
sit
them
on
wound,
objective 2 and are completely
artists.
safe. Like you'll never kill any of them. They can sit on objective
So
3, they're
silly.
completely safe. You'll never kill any of them. Like you
Okay.
have the same problem. It's just worse. Like he's been killing the Salamanders off of their backfield objectives to keep it even. So like I don't think that that's really the problem. I mean the number of objectives being held at the end of the round I think would have been the same regardless. I think this is honestly just the weakness of a list that has no ability to take an whole territory or engage in melee. Like you can have the world's most deadly golden gun, but the moment someone hugs you with a hammer, it's not a pleasant hug. Like, just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And also, like going, this is one of the other issues with just glass cannon mirror matches. I mean, you tend to get one will be 5% above the net, like in a 5% lead, which then doubles to a 10% lead the next turn, doubles to a 20%
Yeah,
lead the
it
next
just
turn.
snowballs so hard.
Yeah. Like there's no.
Yeah,
There's
going
not a lot of
first
comeback
is so
mechanics
powerful in this particular matchup either way.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, because for the most part, I think because of Cullen's composition, he's unable to hide this whole gun line, and so he's going to lose a lot going second. But obviously, I mean, Nick's list is much better going first, or going second, I think, than Cullen's is, because it can actually hide the bulk of its army. That said, Cullen just sets up for an excellent round of shooting turn 2, and I
just
think
think
basically the same thing happens.
I think Cullen refused to put anything into an outflank, which basically just ceded objectives 4, 5, and 6 for the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting to see a couple units of Hornets go into that outflank. And
You've got these 5 Rangers back here.
Yeah,
5 Rangers from the Falcon. Falcon shows up, kills the 5.
Yeah, maybe the Falcons.
5 dudes.
I mean,
I
like the Hornets because they take up so much volume inside the deployment zone.
Well, the Falcons take up way more per point per power level as far as the outflank's concerned.
Yeah, that's true. I guess, and you don't lose quite as much if you don't have the Falcons on the table because they don't shoot quite as hard. Yeah.
I think he could have. The Falcons were here behind this back wall in the corner.
Yeah.
And I think that he could have hid all of the Hornets. I think he could have actually hid almost his entire army if the Falcons had not been on this table. Because they just took up all of the space and forced the Hornets, which are the much more valuable, much more vulnerable units, to try and sit behind this wall on 2, which, with how fast these land speeders move, he could easily see them.
Yeah, and he doesn't even have to put the Rangers in the transport. They can just deep strike themselves. They just, whatever.
But you wanna. I mean, they're cool.
You gotta use those those transport slots for something.
Yeah.
No, I think I like that plan. I'm not sure how much damage those Falcons did on turn 1. It didn't look like they did a whole boatload. They killed maybe a land speeder, between them.
And
I think
once
he could easily
Yeah.
could have given that up, and in order to sort of counterattack. It also forces Nick to screen out these areas in the back.
and turn around. I mean, like
right.
where do the aggressors even go in that scenario?
Yeah. And fanning out his tacticals means that he's gonna be less efficient in terms of hiding them, right?
Yeah.
And he's gotta. Although he does, I mean, he has those servitors though. I guess he has bodies to spare to screen the back line, so it's not the end
Well,
of the world.
it also you can't push up in a 2 or 3 nearly as hard.
Right.
Like you keeping stuff in your own backfield under the threat that someone might show up there. Like you don't even necessarily put the Falcons back there.
Yeah.
But if he has to keep anything back there to hold that space, then that means that's just another unit that's not sneaking 2 or 3 out from under his control.
Right.
Even one Falcon doing it.
Yeah, I mean, each of those Falcons, I think I agree with you. Now I'm thinking about it. Each of those Falcons is enough real estate to hide like 2 Hornets, right?
Yeah. You could have hidden
Damage fell.
every single Hornet behind this one obscuring wall in the corner.
Yeah, I think that might be true.
Through the window.
And I mean, probably 1 or 2 peek out and still get hit, but you lose way less than you did.
It's obscuring, so the whole thing blocks it.
And like once you've killed all the land
Yeah.
speeders, he doesn't have the ability to turn around and deal with anything you put on his back. So then he has to move his own reserves in to clear out that backfield. And I mean, at that point, they're not acting in any other capacity for probably the next 2 turns.
Yep.
Go ahead.
So doomed and guided.
But I mean, that's
Alright, cool.
especially with matches like this, it's always hard to
Doom
figure
was
that
on
stuff
which one?
out
I wanna
ahead of
make sure
time
we-
The back one's right there.
until you've gotten a little bit of matchup knowledge, and no one's got much matchup knowledge yet in any
Farseer's
scenario
gonna
right
shoot
now.
his pistol at
Looks
the,
like,
Tempest.
We cast a Doom on the Tactical Marines on Objective 5. I love that. We're just going to kill those
hits.
guys. Pull that objective
You
right now.
fell back out of combat with
When
both feet then, right?
Not-
So they
not
can't.
the-
On
no,
5?
you only charge one. You only charge.
Yeah, but I consolidated.
What does he have
both,
to keep
right?
in seal?
So
The
was the-
Warwalker, I
the-
think, right now.
I was only tracking you charge one. Okay, that makes sense.
if you want to back
Oh, you
out,
mean-
or
you meant
if you want to
6
swing it
or
on
5?
another one, go ahead and make the roll. You might
Yeah,
have killed them.
the temp is consolidated into both of them.
It did. Okay,
Yeah.
you mind if I roll the other one then?
Yeah, go ahead. No, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
But the Farseer does have a wound on it, just in case. See if the Tempest can do anything. Artisan. 1 hit. Artisan.
Shit, stupid
No.
expert craft.
They're not. No worries.
So brutal.
But you
What a
get one wound
brutal
from the Farseer,
Craftworld
I
trait. Ugh.
It's a
So is it
pistol,
it is
that's
confirmed,
why
right?
he's
Because
in
we saw
combat,
from
so
the
you backed
snapshot
out
from the
of
Space Marine
combat,
Codex
so
that
then, okay,
the
gotcha.
Salamanders version of Expert
Farseer.
Crafters is taking a nerf.
So
I think so. Yeah, I don't remember what it is off the top of my
Yep,
head. I think it,
Yeah,
it
but-
only affects hit rolls or something.
he dies.
Yeah, you think that's gonna be universal to
I hope
where
so.
like
Thanks.
Crafters loses it, so that everything
Okay,
other than
5
Death
snipers
Skulls
at your
loses
captain.
it?
Please.
Because Death
please.
Skulls
Alright, cool.
desperately need to
All right,
not
shock.
lose it.
Yep, T7
Please.
minus 1 wound.
Don't take that away from my
Let's
poor
do it.
Death Skulls.
Oh, we're gonna
See
try
what
to kill the
6 is, huh?
unkillable
Not a good start.
captain here. I believe in him.
hits.
I believe in you, buddy.
Not a great start.
Man figured out how to hold a
Oh,
giant
no.
metal shield while riding a bicycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Falcon.
I feel like
He's steering with his legs, dude.
Yeah.
What a boss.
Yeah, I wouldn't know hand
right.
on my bike. all the
Oh,
time.
Salamanders moved to
Gotcha.
only wound rolls. I apologize, chat. Thanks for letting us know.
Pulse.
That's I mean that's where you need it, right? Like it actually doesn't really feel like that big of an issue.
2 wounds.
I mean, it's still
Um,
it's almost proportionally the same amount of loss. I mean, you're typically you're simply missing a shot that you reroll, then you'll fail a wound that you reroll.
3s
So
to 4s.
3,
It's
4,
you're almost always
okay,
doing
cool.
both anyway.
Because it's the pulse.
Well,
Gotcha.
yeah, but I mean you're still. I guess
I'm
the
3 of
rumor
them
is that
right
Chapter
now.
Master is getting nerfed, right? But
Storm
most of the time, you're
Yeah.
getting Chapter Master.
How much damage is that? 5-3.
At least I
I'm
like
gonna
that
spend
at
a
least
reroll.
Eradicators will, you know,
I mean-
when they're outflanking like super far, will not be sort of converting 100% of the time.
Good to
Are
go.
you chapter masting? Because I feel like that's not happening here. I don't think I've seen like Salamanders assume themselves to be so efficient with their MSU shooting anyway that they
Yeah.
don't
One hit.
spend on the
I
rerolls
had
currently.
1 hit
Well, they
with
I mean they don't right now,
Sure.
this. Star
but
Cannon.
Yeah.
they do if they
It's a
lose the
guide.
roll.
Yeah, but I mean that's a
5s.
Yeah, I guess there's an added cost. For
But I did use a artisan.
Yeah, chat. This
Okay,
captain
no,
is about to heroically intervene with his falcon and kick the
and
I'm so
then the
psyched
small arms.
for him
until
not
that
to
Falcon
die.
kicks his ass.
6s.
Oh, 2 wounds through on him with the shuriken catapult. Get out of
Should be
here.
good. So 2-3 ups.
He's trying to get out of here.
But I would rather.
Tired,
have
he's
it
got
on weapon
shurikens
than
in his
Oh,
lungs.
yeah, his storm shield saves him.
I make both saves.
Ow.
that would have been so. What a rub in.
That was gonna happen at this point.
Nah, you gotta hit that dude with
Falcon.
like
So this,
4
going
psychic
Falcon,
powers to really make him go
Yeah.
away. Relying on the
one
guns
is
is
shooting
Fire.
Fool's
Yeah,
errand.
it's always
Combat,
funny
so
playing
just
against
mark
him
it.
as
Mark
Tyranids
it.
because he commits and he
Okay,
blows something
so
up
this
and
one's
then
your shield,
you know like
that's
7 neurothrobes turn around and look at him.
So two pulse,
What are you
and
doing
two
here?
Pulse.
But then every other faction you play against him, you're like, oh my god, this is
Yeah.
this is not
And
okay.
the 3.
What do we do?
Yeah, my like.
One
I certainly
negative.
overestimated a Keeper of
Alright,
Secrets'
okay.
ability to just like want to just
Alright,
mince
you
that dude.
just-
Yeah.
And then he turned around and
What's
took
up?
like half the life out of
Oh.
it, and then I'm like, oh,
Murder's
now
gone.
I understand the game. And then I just shot it with Force
And
Mites and
then
just like went away.
seconds.
God, lag.
2 hits. 3s. 2 more. -3.
Looks like we're starting to kill Eradicators.
On the Eradicators? Once?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, do.
Oh, go through?
Looks like the pulse
First
lasers take
one
out this Eradicator squad by objective
Spend
5.
CP to roll that.
Which Falcon is shooting right now?
Do I get your CP back?
The one by
Into a
objective 1.
1.
Okay.
And the other
Not
one's
the
going to be
certain.
into
So
another
just gotta
No,
make sure
not the
not
one that
the
fell
ones
back.
that.
No.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just 2 damage.
Oh, doesn't kill him,
Alright,
actually.
cool.
Double
Gonna
ones
do
on
the
the
back.
damage rolls from the Star Cannon. All right.
Okay, and then we're gonna shoot the damage
Yes.
falcon. into
That was a
them.
Death Skull.
We're gonna
You know,
start
you
with
can roll that, but only Death Skulls
damage
really
falcon
makes a
with
really good
combat,
crafted.
he
Oh,
can-
that's right. He broke out. Yeah, you're right.
That's like the
you're
most artisanal stuff right there.
right. Okay. Moving on. Okay.
I'm gonna mark.
You don't need to. I only have this stuff over here, man. I don't think you have to overthink it. I lost a lot of
Gotcha.
stuff this turn. Okay.
I was just following
Yeah,
Trevi.
I don't know
right?
if the
He's gonna shoot.
if the Eldar want to spend 2 CP to let that Falcon fall back and shoot, right? Because it's hitting on 5s anyway. You know, so who cares?
Yep. We'll start on the Eradicators.
Yeah, you maybe leave that as your last thing, and if there's something that's got like sitting on a wound or some like
Yep.
if you're still trying to kill that one Lane of Speed or Storm because everything else failed, maybe you spend that. But yeah, you don't want to spend that. You'd spend that on the support weapon platforms before you spend it on the Falcon.
3. Artisan.
Chat calling it that Falcon's gonna blow
game.
up and kill the
Next one behind
Space
it.
Marine Captain.
I wish it could.
But you'll be AP2 now, right?
That's what 6 inches of D3 on that guy.
Yeah.
3. Artisan doesn't work for the third
Might
time
take out
in
an
a
Assault
row.
Intercessor.
Second
Might kill an
one.
Eradicator too,
Hey, I got a wound. -2.
and a support weapon platform.
Alright, 5 up. Nope, goes through, kills the guy with 1.
Well, you can't kill the Eradicator if
last
he's already
one's
dead.
target.
Get out of there.
1 shot.
Moi
Not what I needed. Hits
Shindeya.
and wounds. -3.
I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, it's fine. Damage.
Go through,
Shuma,
2
you're a
damage.
walking
Yep.
game.
Okay. Moving
really
on.
am.
We're just gonna Viro into the guys in the back.
All right. Well, R.I.P. Tactical
Just
Squad.
remember the -1 for dense cover.
And then.
Well, assuming it kills them in one
Viro
shot,
in the
because the moment there's any
back.
follow-up needed,
First
they
one.
can fully get behind this obscuring train.
shot.
Well, yeah, if you pull up
2,
behind the obscuring
miss,
train,
4.
if you pull so that they're behind the obscuring train, then
Yeah.
Next one behind it.
doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, but I mean
Shot.
it's better than losing the squad.
Yeah. That's right.
He did 3.
You know, if you kind of
Although,
look at
if you force Cullen to commit like all his
Alright,
vibro cannons into him, that might also be worth it.
yeah,
And the last
Sure.
one.
you know, if you look at these Hornets that are just kind of out
Oh,
here in
because you don't get it
space,
because the other
it's
one
almost
didn't
like we're
hit.
playing
Gotcha.
Battlefield Gothic, but
Yeah,
with
that's
like
gonna
modern.
Really lackluster.
like new
turn.
models.
Cool. Artisan.
Or we could just play
Hopefully
Battlefield
better
Gothic
rolls.
Armada on Steam.
And anything but a 1. 2 at -2.
Is that worse
Gotcha.
than the tabletop Battlefield Gothic Armada?
I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually.
So, I mean, cover, so
Every,
one
the
goes die.
torpedoes
Yep.
being a skill shot in
Yeah.
that game was like super
Womp,
satisfying.
womp.
I played the first version. I played like the first of that. What? Armada 1.
Yeah, I did not play the second one. I haven't done that. All right, one had some issues. Every game like sort of devolved into the same matchup, which is
Yeah, that was sort of the problem with it. It's like it's interesting at first, and then it's just
I guess
the teleport strike 55 times in a row while all the ships circle each other.
I'm gonna do 1 into here, 1 into here, and
Which is kind of the issue with every single
One
space
into
game
your,
that's ever been made.
your
yeah,
guys right here.
yeah, that's true.
Tur-
Is that your last
turns
shot?
out,
Right? It is.
Yes.
Space-
That is it.
it's not an interesting tactical battleground.
Oh man,
And the Falcons guided over here, they're not
I think this
guided,
just
right?
toilet bowl really
Correct.
hard for Cullen. This is
I'm going to spend
about
2
to be
CP
his
and
entire
transhuman
shooting
on
phase.
the...
That's
Right.
land speeder. Still,
Yeah.
maybe you do spend the 2 CP on that Falcon to try and kill this land speeder.
Hey.
Then.
Well, at least you're
on.
contesting
So we're gonna
objective
do
2,
4
right? But he
shots
didn't kill these tactical
speeder.
marines on objective 6.
Those aggressors haven't even shown up
Okay.
yet.
And Nick just transhumaned these eradicators against the Warwalker.
1. He's got how many wounds? How many wounds left does he have? And
He's got-
5. Look at that. Yep. That's 1. -3.
Goes through.
D3. 2.
Yeah.
And then 4 into the Eradicators. Artisan. Cool. Listen to a miss.
4s.
4s.
Oh,
Three.
transfer did not help. Okay.
Oh,
Transhuman.
Well,
what is this? 3
6
star cannons going through on these
nope,
guys?
goes through.
Lucky roll.
Lucky
Hey,
There's
roll.
one.
lucky roll.
Well, yeah, one eradicator dead.
Lucky
Yeah.
roll. Yep. Kill 2.
There you go.
Two dead. All right, we're down to 2 Eradicators on the table.
Those guys in the back. Not Artisan to... I did Artisan to hit.
The Eradicators maybe...
The 3s don't hit because the -1 to hit.
They're going to be less capable of total
those
eradication at this point.
That's true. It's just a little bit of eradication.
1 wound.
I need to give the Obliterators an ability called Total Eradication to make up for the Eradicators having total obliteration. Yeah.
Okay. Done. Done. Okay, cool.
Ever since you
so
pointed that out,
around,
I'm just so mad that they named it that.
These guys lost 2. Their leadership 8. They needed a 6 for the reroll. They're fine. Eradicators lost 2. Same thing. They're fine. The Intercessors over there. They
I'm
lost
noticing
2,
that
same
there's
thing,
not
they're
a
6, they're fine.
cowering, hiding
And,
grot
that's it.
at the
And
top
then I
of this
got
Wattower right now.
Heroic Intervention over here.
I was about to look at that and be like, oh, these Warwalkers can almost peer and look into this guy, but he's not
Can't
there.
stop it.
I feel like this map is
And
incomplete.
you have no other assaults, right? I'm assuming you're not assaulting, but I want to make sure.
Yeah, so here's the Heroic Intervention on the
Actually,
Captain.
You know what? I will charge my Farseer into you before you heroically intervene.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it
You
looks
know
like we're
what?
gonna try to tie him up with a Farseer
You
instead.
can't do anything else, and they'll get this game over with faster. 6. I think that makes me in.
That should be
Yeah, I
fine.
think so, actually, because you can go right through the wall. Yep.
Cool. Farseer's in there for some sweet hand-to-hand.
So, fun
Farseer
fact,
attacks. Hitting on 2s. Wounded on
Captains are
1s.
really good at killing Farseers.
2 wounds at dash.
Well, if there's one thing that's
Alright,
good against the
free up,
Thunderhammer, it's an invulnerable
because
save.
We don't have new
And
storm
that's what
shields yet.
Farseers have.
Yeah. You're
Good.
Yes!
He's gonna have 5
This
attacks.
lady is voguing
back.
pretty hard right now if you zoom in on this model.
Farseer, because I can't go to the
Got like that
Falcon
hip
yet.
out, she's got like the,
Massive Arson.
what is it, the Magnum going
Four
on right
hits.
now?
Looking
Or
for
Blue
2s.
Steel, depending on
4
which
wounds.
movie we're watching.
Okay. Roll that again.
Keith Berry in chat watching on mute, which is
Cool. Okay.
which is rude.
All right.
Keith, you need to just stream it to your.
What's your score? Can we call this?
It's your iDevice.
I'll have 15
No,
for
you
the
just stream
primary.
it to the
Primary,
projector.
Were you on your secondaries?
I'll have 3 for Brandon.
Yeah,
4.
we can call it. There's
Looks like we may talk it out.
Yeah, because I'm. Even if I
Minnesota
don't bring the
Keith-
aggressors on, or if you.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't matter. This game's over. Yeah, you boxed me in. There's nothing I can do. You just had too much shots.
Yeah, because I'm still going to keep you at 5 primary, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Eradicators, even if I have one left here, probably going to kill another support weapon. I'm going to send over here, kill this Falcon.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna pick
easily.
some other
I can't. Yeah, I mean, I can't. Your Eradicator's going to kill at least each of those will kill one easily. And then the issue is I'm not going to be able to get off your captain, and you're so far ahead in points now that there's no way, because you're already up by 20 on me on primary, and with my secondaries, there's no way I'm going to get anything in my progressive, and there's nothing I'm going to get for psychic. So there's literally no point in going on any further, because I mean, realistically, we can count. I'm probably going to hold objective 1, so I'll probably have like this. I mean, realistically, probably that. And I got your last vehicle, so I'm up to 12. But I won't be able to, because you're gonna.
14. You should be at 14 for Bring It Down.
Yeah,
Right.
14 to bring it down. Correct. Because there's no way I'm gonna be able to kill what's flanking me. I mean, I had that one turn to kill your captain, and that was it. And there was just.
And I'm basically gonna get 3 on engage on all fronts for every turn now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Easily.
14. And then even this is gonna be 3, 6, 9 on banners for another turn, unless you get back here, which I don't see that happening.
I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna lose most likely 1 walker here easily. You're gonna obviously. I couldn't kill the stuff here with Doom and everything on it, man. Like, I'm not gonna be able to pull you off this objective. And you got enough fluff on here that I can't split all my shots to get a consistent kill on everything. You know what I mean? Like, there's just nothing I got that's gonna be able to do it. You're gonna contest this one, which means I won't get anything again.
I'm gonna move these guys actually here, and I'm gonna since these guys aren't guided, I'm gonna charge the storm into them.
I wouldn't even do that, because why would you let me overwatch? Because I'm still gonna have like 8 shots, and you're at 3 wounds. Like, there's no real. I mean, I get what you're. You can just shoot.
Well, I could also beat you out with the forewarn too, right? Like, that's the other thing I was debating. So, but yeah, you're right. Because these guys are gonna come here. This guy will pick them up. He's gonna go over there. Yeah, it is rough. I
can't. There's nothing. The issue is you're so far ahead on primary. There's no way I'll be able to do my secondaries. Like, there's just no. I have no good secondaries against you. And like, I mean, I literally had nothing good against. So like I'm gonna be at least 30 down plus 20. I'm 30, 50
Yeah, I
points
think a
below you at
big
this point that I will not
Yeah.
be
players
able
are
to
discussing
achieve.
the secondaries right now. I
Like,
think
this
that
is
a
with
big
the
issue
not being
with
able to
Cullen's
achieve.
style of list is that it's
No,
extremely
it's totally fair.
devastating in shooting.
I mean,
because
it
this is
was
out
a
that
good
shooting
game.
phase, there's
Colin.
no
I mean, I
backup
think
plan.
you're right about
Yeah.
going.
Yeah,
That's
it
what it
has,
came
there's
down
no
to.
there's no comeback
Yeah,
mechanic
there's just
built
too
in
much
anywhere
terrain.
over here.
There's
Right.
just it's just too much line of sight.
Like
blocking
the Salamanders
terrain
list can
pieces.
lose
Like,
all
I
of
get,
its
like, what
land
Trevor's trying
speeders
to
and
do,
still just
but
run
this
onto
whole
things
block-
and like
I didn't
hunker
really
down and
realize
hide
how
behind
bad it
Trine
was
as much as
until
can and try
even
and
on the defender side,
win out on
there's just
primary
no
with any
terrain.
sort of hold based
Because everything had to
secondaries,
move
but like
over here.
a fragile
to get the
gun
line of
line that
sight, and
really
I'm
lacks the ability
so
to stand on
pigeonholed
things.
to this small zone
Like
of 7
if
inches.
that bullet
and
does
then over
not
here you have
kill the
another
target,
zone of
you only have the one bullet.
7.5. So there's like
Yeah.
See, I was thinking the same thing because I was thinking about like this is what I was really thinking about. If I got to defend and go second, I was okay, and be back here just doing your same concept. But then when I was thinking about it, I was like, I can't deploy my whole army back
this
here.
is
and you were
not the trajectory of the game I was
I was
expecting.
like, this
but
really
going
doesn't give
second
me cover.
no.
So then I said
really
the same thing as
cut
well.
a
Wait a
lot
second,
of
if
the
he's
firepower
fast
off the
enough,
Eldar list.
I'm pretty sure I'm fast enough. I
Yeah.
can do the same thing.
I mean, these maps kind of are just terrible. But I mean, like, I mean, this is just there's just too much line of sight blocking on the board, even for our two shooting armies. Because I think you're right. You were able to get a good jump, and like my return
It's funny to
fire.
hear these
I
guys
know it was
complain
good,
about the terrain
but
when this is a
you
map
can't-
that
I
people
couldn't do
complained that
anything
there was
against
not
your
enough terrain on.
I mean, your eradicators are just going
Can't
to
win.
just obliterate, and like you
Can't
have
win
enough
again with
small
40K
arm stuff
players.
to just like.
I mean,
Like I had to move my
one
stuff here to
complains
shoot.
about
Like, so I had to move my
the
vehicle
cause for
towards
them
you
to either win or
to
lose.
shoot him for you to assault. Like
Well,
I saw
40K
that and went,
complaining
oh,
is
Christ's sake.
That was the
50
thing I
to
was thinking
70%
about this
of the
train,
hobby.
right? Like I
That's
actually
true.
can use it against you because even if you go
That's what
here,
we're here for.
you have to come out, right? And that's the problem. So I basically get a second wave. That's why I was thinking about the reserves.
Yeah, this actually now that we're talking about it, like going with both of our armies, going second is terrible. Like you do not want to go second because you're going to be able to zone so much stuff out, and especially your army is like so equipped for it with the eradicators coming from reserve and the aggressors, like because you're just going to be able to just nuke. And then like for example, look at like what I was able to return fire with. Like there's so much cover that I can't even like stop your eradicators.
Yeah, I mean that's why I was figuring if I go for the Hornets, they would do the most damage
Going second is bad into a
over the
last cannon
Falcon. Like
matchup.
the Falcons are good buys, right? But
Whoa.
like
What a
especially when I thought the
shocker.
Vibro cannons were all one unit, and
What a
they split.
guess.
It was like,
Oh my
that
God.
goes away. Because what I was thinking about is that Tempest could, since they get +1 wound and +1 to hit, I figured the Tempest could kill 2 or 4 weapon
Crazy.
platforms, right? Because at AP2 for the assault cannon, 5 and 5 out of 12 shots with +1 to hit and +1 to wound, probably will kill them because they're gonna re-roll everything, and then the Tempest salvo launchers will kill everything else too, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I was just trying to think, like, I had realistically, because your army's so able to come in waves, like, I think I did a lot of damage turn one.
Oh, totally.
But even with that, it's just like, nope, not enough. It's just not enough when those guys come on the board. Then, like, I was looking at it, like, as soon as I deployed my Warwalkers and I wanted to keep them safe, I was like, okay, 10-inch move here. Cool, that fucking sucks. 10-inch move here. Cool, that fucking sucks. And then you're like, cool, so my really good shooting unit is going to have to spend 2 turns to give himself any kind of...
I don't even feel like the terrain had
actual
much of an
shots, and a
effect,
lot of my
really. I
stuff
mean,
that
both
doesn't
these
have
armies
fly,
just
like,
popped
all
over
the
it,
other
fired
units.
all of their
Like, think about it,
firepower.
they were
Yeah.
not able to
And I
survive,
think-
what, this arc?
I do think, like we were
Yeah.
saying,
Like, that was it. That's
Cullen
all I
needed
did.
a little
You're like,
bit
oh,
more
that's 1,000
space
points
to
my
keep his
army.
army safe on turn one.
Yeah.
And I think that was honestly that felt like the most of the effect of the game on the game.
This train piece.
Yeah,
needs
I
to
wonder
kind of
if a
jet in this
reroll
way
happened
a little
and
bit,
Cullen just
right?
outflanked the 3 Falcons.
Just
Like,
yeah,
how different this might have been.
Yeah, for
jet in
sure.
Here, and then that would give you better cover back here, and then you could cut off the army and really defend well,
Yeah.
better for sure. 'Cause
Yeah,
then
I
can
see what
just
you mean.
come
Or if
in
there was
and-
just a Shining Spear
That
squad
kind
here
affects the
instead
same
of
thing, too. You're just creating
Yeah.
a fatal funnel. Like,
one of
I
these
just
other
had too many
units.
Units that had no line of sight on anything.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
we're looking
Like
at
a Shining Spear unit would have just like run riot over the backfield.
Right. If you have any sort of variety in your unit choices.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true,
for
like,
sure.
we come
Like
over
if you
here
need
to
something
play
to go
more,
punch
right?
that,
I figured you're
that
gonna put, like,
captain
6 or
over
7
there,
of the Vibro
you need
cannons
like
over
you know
here.
just something.
block out.
And that dude is about to absolutely wreck right through this whole army. Like a lot of armies won't be able to get to grips with this Eldar army because it's so fast and hits so hard. But
And then like, I mean, I was.
But when you do, it's just gonna fall apart.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we saw here. I think Nick was able to use the terrain that he did have in the center to give himself some good opportunities to get into melee. And obviously, just being able to take so much board space going first is such a big deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know if there's much else we can glean from sitting here listening to these guys wax philosophical. So I think we're gonna call that for this game. The score's already up on the site. It's going to be 84 Nick Rose to 34 Cullen, and I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think Nick's army is very strong, and obviously Nick is one of the strongest players in the world of 40K, and I think we're going to see a lot of similar results on Cullen's army. He's either going to win big or he's going to lose big, and I don't know if there's going to be much in between.
Yeah, what made Mekdar so immensely powerful before was the fact that literally every single thing in it was drastically undercosted.
Yeah.
And it's not like that. Not only meant that you just had really good stuff, it meant you just had a ton of it. So like getting based, getting touched, like it didn't matter. Like, oh no, I lost a Falcon. Oh no, I lost a Fire Prism. It's, there's 8 other tanks, plus like 4 other Hornets, and you got support platforms, plus like a Shining Spear squad. Like, the losses cut into this list deep.
Yeah.
And then the way the game plays is not what this game, like, it's just not what this list, like, what this list wants to do. Like, if this was 2020 ITC, he might still well have won this game anyway.
Yeah.
Like, there's more Eldar left on the table points-wise than there are Salamanders, but...
Right. Yeah, I think this
pointing
list
a laser doesn't win anymore.
Yeah, this list is gonna absolutely murder sort of every gatekeeper it runs into, right? If there's any sort of mid-range list that it can outshoot, it's gonna destroy it. But yeah, when it hits something of
I got a list, I think. I can take that, but
all right,
yeah.
This is 10 Shinork warcopters.
Oh no, God no! That list vanishes instantly the moment.
But I do think that sort of the other meta contenders that can hold a candle to it are potentially just going to outplay it. I do like, now that I've seen this one in action a little bit more, I do like the versions that have some more interesting just sort of backup plans to them.
Yeah.
The ones that bring I know True is playing one in the server with double Shining Spears. I think that's an interesting version.
Yeah, the Vibrant Minions are so one-dimensional.
So many,
there's much more like a win more unit.
And the Eldar community, it seems like, has totally poo-pooed Night Spinners. When I think Night Spinners, they just got the treatment that the Scorpius Disintegrator did. We were talking about in our game earlier today, where the Scorpius Disintegrator went from being a ridiculous undercosted, sort of god unit to being, oh, now it's a reasonable cost, but it's still really good because the unit archetype is powerful. And I think it's the same thing for the Night Spinner. It's only 155 points for a Night Spinner or something. But like for strength 7 indirect fire shots, like could you imagine that in this game? If you were able to just plop 3 Night Spinners behind this wall in the back and just do what the Falcons did, except you don't have to move and you always get line of sight. Like
yeah.
And then suddenly this issue where you have to maneuver around this terrain and you have to try to pick up those scoring units on objective 6 is no longer an issue. You just do it. But I do think that this Eldar archetype has a little ways to go to be optimized.
So there's also this other interesting unit that no one ever considers, but I feel like might warrant a little bit of consideration. It's the Eldar support platform with D cannon.
Oh, D cannons are real strong, right?
Yeah, and you slink that unit right into the right inside of this.
Oh, this
ruin
little
here.
L here, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, you cover the entire board. You're firing 3 blast weapons, 12 minus 14,
you get
6 shots.
24 inches from that. You can you can cover almost all of objective 4 with that gun. Yeah, that would be brutal for sure. There's stuff hiding behind this building here. Objective 5 just like vaporizes.
Yeah.
The entire Salamander game plan has to change with those on the table. Yeah, for sure. So I think Cullen's just a big mopey boy. He's just a salty butthole.
Well, live that life too.
Yeah.
What is 40K if not a chance to practice your greatest sly insults when you get busted?
Yeah, chat I think is agreeing with us. This table looks actually pretty light. Yeah, I was worried that this table would be one of the lightest ones when I built it, but I think between this one and there's a couple other ones that are relatively light on terrain, but
the deployment zone's really changing up anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
Like there's more. It's not pure amount. It's the amount that materially blocks line of sight.
Right.
And there's like going hammer and anvil here. Like there's a lot of block line of sight.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for us tonight. I will be, I don't know about Shuma, but I'm going to be live at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time tomorrow. And that game, pull up my schedule for you. I think that's going to be Bethany Taylor. It is Bethany Taylor versus the one and only Jamie Paris, who has just coming off of his win against Phil Barfoot, tabling the Triple Lord of Skulls with the Space Wolves. And that's going to be sick. I'm psyched. I'm psyched for that game. I'm psyched to see the Space Wolves on the table, Shuma.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat this cookie and quietly not agree.
You don't want to see Space Wolves on the table?
Actually, I do. I want to see what that army can do now that I've seen it manage to trash the Lotus Skulls. I want to see how it did it.
Yeah, I have a feeling
that
that having 4 las cannons or 8 las cannons that basically ignore line of sight probably helps.
I mean, did that work for the Havocs in the last game where that was casted?
Those poor Havocs. Those Lords of Skulls are not -1 to be hit though, so. Oh,
That's
yeah,
true.
those Havocs were sad, though. I mean, in fairness, just roll good. Stop rolling bad.
Yeah, rolling good.
Will
if you just roll real good, there's a lot of things in the Space Wolf Codex.
The second to last turn in that last game with Denise, where the Havoc unit gets endless cacophony and shoots 8 times and hits once, was just heart-wrenching. Oh, yeah. My God.
Telling you, gotta use obliterators.
You gotta use it, yeah. Obliterators seem pretty good. We do have Wolf on Mibu in the Invitational with 9 obliterators.
There we go.
So that's somebody following the Shuma book of playing Chaos.
He's not stuffing him next to that one Nurgle tree to give him a 0+ save.
No, he doesn't give them light cover with the Nurgle tree, unfortunately. He does. No, he has the Iron Warriors combo, so he has the Demon Smith and then has the Men's Mark of Khorne, not Slanesh, and then so that he can trigger Crimson Crown off of them, which is super cool. It's just the Lord of Skulls combo, except your Lords of Skulls are obliterators and cost like half as much. That's going to be cool. I'm psyched to see that when Wolf and Bibu schedules this game. So stay tuned at tts40k.com/invitational. You can get all of the match updates live. Fear the Cute. Yeah, if you come visit our Discord, there's a link in the description. All of the tables are available for download there. So you can come hang out. And we are... obviously, we have rapid fire pods available right now for people who want some competitive play, but we also have some casual tournaments going on right now, or casual events, and not even tournaments. One of them is currently live, and we will open up registration for another one later this week. And so if you want to come play on those maps and play with some sweet people, you can come join us on the Tactical Tortoise Discord. And
just come out and hang out and chat, too.
Yeah, or you can just come out and tell Shuma how wrong he is and challenge him to Mortal Kombat.
Look, I get enough of that in the comments, all right?
I think that is Shuma's lot in life. Yeah, so highly recommend you come check out our Discord. We're obviously season 2 of T5S2 is just about to start up, and we're gonna be going with weekly tournament pods once again and playing just oogles of 9th edition 40k. So yeah, do that. But also, tts40k.com/invitational. You can get all the live standings and scores there as they come in, and you can see the streaming schedule for all of the matches that we're going to be streaming and that will be streamed otherwise. So I think any matches that don't get streamed on here or on AOWPI will probably get put through the Discord. And so we'll have dates and times for people who want to go watch those in the Discord, I think is what we're going to end up doing. So yeah, that's what's up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks for taking your afternoon to hang out with us and watch some 40K. And remember to keep it classy, folks.
Have a good night, everybody.